All right. All right, guys, we are live. It is Tuesday. We're going to open up with some Space Harrier from Sega. I believe it's Hiro Kawaguchi, maybe? Something like that. Oh, great. Of course, everything's fucked up. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ah, there we are. Are we back? Kind of. It's running a little rough. We'll see how it goes. What's going on, y'all? Yeah, Trump is badass. You are right. Ba 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 ba. There we go. Haha. What's going on, y'all? It's me, Space McG. It's your favorite cartoon nerd with the news, and I'm back at it again, doing my thing. Y'all know how we do up in here. When we're doing our thing, we're doing it right. Yeah. What's going on, everyone? We got a great show for you today. Lots of news is going on out there, but we are not going to lose focus of what's important. You know, a lot of distractions are happening. We got a bridge collapse. We've got Sean Puffy Combs being arrested for, kid fucking, you know. I mean, is anyone surprised that a guy named P. Diddy is a kid fucker? I'm not. We got much bigger news. Much bigger news than that to go over. A lot of stuff they don't want us to talk about, so we're going to talk about that. Yeah. So what's going on? We got a great crowd out there starting to form. Let's go through the audience and see who's here. Okay. We've got Uzi. What's up, Uzi? He says 8.5 knots plus DEI equals X. Yeah, that X, I guess, is a bridge collapse. Well, I don't know if it has anything to do with DEI. I'm hearing that it's a possible cyber attack. I don't fucking know. What I do know is that it's a distraction. It's a distraction. I mean, maybe it's a distraction. I don't know. There's a lot bigger things going on than, you know, I hate to say it, bigger than a bridge collapse. Now, we got Salty Gamer up in the house. What's going on, Salty? Yes, Trump is king. I believe it. We got my guy Gino Fast up in here. What's going on, Gino? Yeah, we got a good crowd starting to form, and that's good. Because we got a good show. Now, we are waiting on the diversity, equity, and inclusion press secretary to come out here and lie to us all, Shipgate, and lie to us all about what's actually going on. But first, we're going to talk about some shit that she ain't even going to want to talk about. That nobody's going to want to talk about, that we're not supposed to know. We're not supposed to be talking about these. We're supposed to be watching the circuses and eating our bread, drinking our Kool-Aid, and shutting the fuck up is what we're supposed to be doing. But we're not doing that. We're going to do what we do, which is talk about the things that they're not talking about, because that's how you know what's really important, right? Is the news stories that they don't cover. Those are the important ones. So we are waiting for the White House. They are not out yet. I hope it's not a super long time before she comes out here. They haven't even started the stream yet. And that is not good news. Now, as you can hear probably in my voice, I'm a little congested. This happens to me. This is a normal thing. When the weather changes, when it goes from hot to cold and cold to hot, I normally get a head full of fucking juice, and it's, and today's no different, I'll tell you that. All right, yeah, so it's no different today. Now, I do want to give a shout out to my mysterious benefactor, who sent me some money over the weekend. I don't know who you are. You just go by Blue Wrench. You're a badass, and I want to thank you for that. I want to thank everyone that was able to donate a little bit of money to me. That helps keep me alive. Yeah, we'll light the written hookah up here in a second. Okay, we got Tam Tam. Just put a sign in my window. Trump 2024. MAGA sign in my window. Guess I will find out how many of my neighbors will agree. Oh, yeah, I'm sure more of your neighbors are Make America Great Now than they were in 2020. Lots of people are leaving the Democrat Party, and it's no surprise. They spent the last 50 years gathering people that have anti-establishment beliefs, and then the Democrats, of course, have become the tool of the corporate fascist system. And yeah. Oh, that's how you order bricks nowadays, is by putting a Trump sign in your yard, huh? Well, that's good. That's good. At least you get some free bricks, huh? You'll be able to build a shed or something. What, do you live in a yuppie neighborhood with a bunch of fucking woke corporate fascists? Tam Tam? Bunch of cult fucking members? Trying to build a wall. They're mostly peaceful bricks. Yeah, well, what's not mostly peaceful is Israel, guys. Okay, so the U.S. has allowed a Gaza ceasefire resolution to pass at the UN. What does that mean? Well, following several failed attempts over 5 months of Israel's devastating war in Gaza, the United Nations Security Council on Monday finally passed a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire. The United States, which had been the only hurdle resolution, the vote came as a shock to Israel, which saw its decades-old ally abstain rather than veto the move, as it has constantly done over the years in its diplomatic backing of the Jewish state. Israeli officials lambasted the resolution, saying they have no intention of ceasing fire. And I believe that they will not. Now, more than 32,000 people have been killed in Gaza in operations Israel launched after Hamas-led militants attacked the country on October 7th, killing 1,200 people and taking 250 hostages. Israel criticized the language of the resolution, saying it doesn't firmly tie a ceasefire to the freeing of hostages held in Gaza. The resolution demands an immediate ceasefire and also demands the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages. A failed resolution proposed by the U.S. last week demanded a ceasefire that was directly tied to releasing the hostages. Excuse me, I am a little congested today. Israel has reacted angrily to the resolution, saying it has no intention of abiding by it. On Tuesday, Israeli attacks on Gaza continued. Excuse me, guys. I'm congested as fuck. Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Gilad Erdan, criticized the Security Council for passing a measure that called for a ceasefire without conditioning it on the release of the hostages. It undermines the efforts to secure their release, he said, at the United Nations. Foreign Minister Israel Katz, meanwhile, said on X that his country would not abide by the resolution. The state of Israel will not cease fire, Katz said. We will destroy Hamas, also known as hummus, and continue to fight until the last of the hostages returns home. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu retaliated for the U.S. abstention by canceling a scheduled trip to the U.S. by two of his top advisors. Israeli National Security Advisor Sachi Hangibi and Ron Dermer, a member of the War Cabinet, had been scheduled to travel to Washington Monday night to discuss alternatives to a planned Israeli offensive in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The meeting had been requested by U.S. President Joe Biden. Now, is the resolution binding? After the resolution passed, U.S. officials went to great lengths to say that the resolution isn't binding. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller repeatedly said during a news conference that the resolution is non-binding before conceding that the technical details are for international lawyers to determine. So, so they say, it's non-binding, but then they have to admit that, it might be binding. Oh, you're on the Oregon coast. Okay. Let's see here. The U.S. ascribing to a legal tradition that takes a narrower interpretation argues that without the use of the word decides or evocation of Chapter 7 within the text, the resolution is non-binding, says Maya Ungar, an analyst monitoring UN Security Council developments at the International Crisis Group, a Brussels-backed think tank. So these think tanks are places that decide policy. Now, does the resolution leave Israel isolated on the world stage? Israel's Western allies, particularly the U.S., have long protected it from censure at the UN. Their support was in full display soon after the October 7th Hamas-led massacre, when many countries stood by Israel at the Security Council and the UN General Assembly. But as the war in Gaza dragged on and the death toll there mounted, that backing began to dwindle, even from some of Israel's most committed allies, leaving the U.S. as its sole backer at the UN for the past few months until Monday's vote. They are not fully isolating Israel. Their argument about the non-binding nature makes that clear, said Unger of the IGC. But this is the farthest from Israeli policy that the U.S. has been willing to go thus far at the United Nations. Now, and there's a picture of the jihadis getting cluster bombed, right? Hey, what's up, Shemp? I'm glad you made it, buddy. Glad you made it. Now, all right, so now we're going to kind of get into some big news, okay? This is kind of like what they're not talking about. So their lawfare has failed, right? They've tried to take Trump out by using the courts against him and by bringing the full weight of the Justice Department to bear against him in order to dissuade him from pursuing his goals as a presidential candidate, right? So, that being said, what are they going to do next? Well, they're just going to outright kill him. Okay, let's go. All right. So, here's something that kind of slipped under my radar until now. Excuse me. An assassin targeting Trump allies is on the loose, the FBI warns. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, guys. My head is all full of junk. The FBI in Miami has warned of an Iranian assassin that is wanted in connection to assassination targets against former and current public officials such as those involved in former President Donald Trump's administration. Like Donald Trump. The FBI field office in Miami shared a wanted notice for Majid Dastani Farahani on Friday. Mr. Farahani, an Iranian intelligence officer, is wanted for questioning in connection with the recruitment of individuals for various operations in the United States, to include lethal targeting of current and former United States government officials as revenge for the killing of IRGC QF Commander Qasem Soleimani, the FBI said. Farahani also reportedly recruited individuals for surveillance activities focused on religious sites, businesses, and other facilities in the United States, the FBI said. Farahani acted or purported to act for or on behalf of, directly or indirectly, Iran's military intelligence and security. Hey, what's up, Andrew? You could just put your fingers in that honey pot. Oh, this one? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, she's something. The announcement by the FBI comes amid heightened tensions between Iran and the U.S. Earlier this year, 3 U.S. service members were killed at a military base in Jordan. President Joe Biden announced that radical Iran-backed militant groups operating in Syria and Iraq were responsible, prompting speculation of Iran's role in the incident. According to the BBC, Iranian Foreign Minister spokesperson Nasser Kanan denied Tehran was behind the attack, saying that Iran is not involved in the decision-making of resistance groups. However, in 2022, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi made a speech in which he blamed Trump and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo for the killing of Soleimani. If Trump and Pompeo are not tried in a fair court for the criminal act of assassinating General Qasem Soleimani, Muslims will take our martyrs' revenge, Raisi said, according to Reuters. The aggressor, murderer, and main culprit, the then President of the United States, must be tried and judged under the Islamic law of retribution, and God's ruling must be carried out against him. Now, in December 2023, the U.S. Treasury Department announced sanctions against Farahani and other Iranian intelligence officer Mohammad Mahdi Kanpour Ardestani. Both Farahani and Ardestani, Jihadi 1 and Jihadi 2, okay, have recruited individuals for various operations in the United States, to include lethal targeting of current and former U.S. government officials as revenge for the death of Islamic Revolutionary Guard Quds Force Commander Qasem Soleimani. The Treasury Department said Farahani and Ardestani also recruited individuals for surveillance activities focused on religious sites. We already read all that. Okay, so when you can't use the media, right, to scare people away from supporting Donald Trump, right? When the lawfare has worked, when your billions of dollars in fines haven't worked, what do? You unleash the jihadis against him. Yes. So, can you play the video of when Trump announced the killing? We might be able to, if we have time. I could probably find it, but I have other stuff I need to go over while we are waiting for the press secretary. Wow, they're not even out yet. They haven't even started the stream yet, so we probably will be able to play that video, Uzi. Now, well, shit, now that I guess it looks like we're going to have a minute. Well, we can go ahead and do this, because I've been waiting all morning to smoke this bowl with you guys. So we're going to go ahead. Let's just go ahead and do the written hookah. Because you guys are badasses. You guys have helped me out. And that's awesome. So, let's get this hookah lined up, right? There we go. All right, yeah. So you guys all, I'm sure everyone remembers Kyle Rittenhouse, right? And what he did on that day, right? When the rapist child molesters tried to take his fucking V card, right? Kyle told us that day that sometimes, most time, well, I mean damn near every time, guys, it's far better to be dead. Far better to be dead than red, guys. Better dead than red. Let's light this bitch up. Oh, that hit me hard. Oh, one more time. We gotta light that written hookah one more time. Woo! Oh, you can hear all the congestion in my head. All right. Okay, it looks like they've actually started the stream. So that's good. Better dead than red, guys. Okay. Oh, man. I'm going to need a second. So, how are you guys? Is everybody cool? Good, I'm glad. Is everybody relaxed? No, it doesn't help the congestion at all. But it does make me feel better. I probably, won't be able to focus as well, but we're going to try. All right. Whew. Now, so, yeah, we're still waiting on the press secretary. My Hilltop Patriot group met Kyle in Southern Oregon last week. We need to support that young man. Yeah, he's going to go far. Kyle is probably going to be like a senator or something one day. So, yeah, Kyle's going to go far in this world. I agree. And I'll be there to support him when that happens. Now, oh my. Okay, so yeah, so we talked about the Trump assassination, all right? Now, they're going to try to assassinate Trump. They're going to blame it on Iran. Now, I'm just getting all my notes together. Okay, what do you guys want to do next? The secret gun running documents to the cartels or the funding of EcoHealth Alliance? We're going to do an EcoHealth Alliance next. Okay. I think that this is a bigger story that no one's talking about. Okay, Senator Joni Ernst slams Biden administration for funneling $2.8 million for high-risk pathogens research in Guinea. So, we were funding Wuhan labs, but now we just moved it to Guinea, okay? The Biden administration shows no signs of stopping research on pathogens of pandemic potential. Say that 3 times fast. Pathogens of pandemic potential. Pathogens of pandemic potential. Pathogens of pandemic potential. Okay, it's not that hard, I guess. Oh, man. Pathogens of pandemic potential. Okay, so now I mess it up. That makes total sense. All right. Abroad, through a controversial U.S. nonprofit, Senator Joni Ernst said Monday, as the Pentagon will complete a $2.8 million grant this year for experiments on high-risk pathogens in Guinea. The Department of Defense began funding Georgetown University in September of 2021 for a 3-year project out of its Defense Threat Reduction Agency focused on reducing the risk of pathogens causing fever in Guinea, a grant database shows. Now, these are the same people that funded research on a novel SARS respiratory coronavirus thingy in Wuhan, China. These are the same people that took your tax dollars, gave them to a level 3 biolab in Wuhan, China, in order to research coronaviruses so that they could develop a vaccine. But instead of developing they did develop a vaccine. Guys, how do you think they got the vaccine on a shelf in less than 10 months? Right? Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny that the same virus that they were researching, right, that affects the human ACE2 receptors, right? Why do they affect the human ACE2 receptors? Because the rats that they were experimenting on, the mice or whatever, are humanized with these ACE2 receptors, right? Right? So the virus that EcoHealth Alliance funded research on was specifically designed to attach itself to humanized ACE2 receptors in mice. The coronavirus that caused the pandemic specifically attached itself to the ACE2 receptors. It's amazing. It's amazing how that works out, isn't it? Now, gain of function research. Yes, Uzi. Gain of function research. Now, EcoHealth Alliance has received subgrants as part of the project, despite concerns from lawmakers and scientific experts that the Manhattan-based nonprofit has used U.S. taxpayers' money to fund risky research in the past, including at a lab in Wuhan, China, the city where the COVID-19 pandemic started. Now, it's clear EcoHealth can't be trusted with dollars or dangerous diseases after they funneled taxpayer dollars to fund a Chinese-run risky. I gotta add a level 3. That's low. That's too low to be working on potentially contagious new pathogens. It should be done in level 4, right? At least. Right? Right? Level 4, if there's a potential leak, they lock the scientist in with the virus. Right? Level 3, everybody goes home. Level 4, they lock your fucking ass in there with the fucking virus you spilled. Right? Now, like if there's a leak, they lock everybody in. That's why Congress approved my proposal to audit the defense dollars flowing to and through EcoHealth to pay for, quote, batty experiments in China. Get it? Batty? Because they all said it came from a bat? Isn't that hilarious? Isn't that funny? Now, baddie research in China or anywhere else. Oh my God. Okay, even after my provision, more funds have already found their way to EcoHealth Alliance. We must stop this before they are used to make the world a less safe place. Well, I think that's already been done. The time, if you wanted to stop it before they fuck shit up, the time to do that would have been in 2017. But no.
I have to go real quick here.
Oh, we got her.
From President
God damn it, I have more news.
Collapse of the Francis Scott
I have so much more
Bridge
news, guys.
In Baltimore, Maryland this morning, the president conveyed senior members of his team.
Oh no, it's audio only.
Pardon me, senior members of his team for a briefing on the ongoing response during this morning's briefing.
They changed it to a gaggle.
To ensure all federal resources be made available to assist in the immediate search and rescue efforts and subsequent rebuilding of the bridge. The president spoke with Governor Moore, Mayor Scott,
fuck.
Senator Cardin, Senator
I guess we're going to hit the red hook again.
Ufume, and the Baltimore County Executive to discuss ongoing rescue efforts and commitment to provide any and all necessary federal assistance. He also
better dead than red, guys. Better dead than red.
Right now, the president will continue to receive updates from his team. And throughout the day, White House and administration officials will remain in close contact with the state and local officials. Our prayers are with everyone involved in this terrible accident and all the families, especially those waiting for news right now. We're incredibly grateful to the brave first responders who immediately rushed to the scene, to the people of Baltimore. We're with you, and we'll have our support for as long as it takes. And today, as you know, we're on our way to Raleigh, North Carolina, where President Biden and Vice President Harris will lay out their vision to protect and strengthen.
Do they have another meeting? Let
CARE
me check.
Act, Medicaid, and Medicare, and lower health care costs.
Maybe Biden will have a speech, and then we can come back and do that later.
Vision laid out by congressional Republicans through their most recent budget proposal. This is what they laid out. 45 million Americans, including 1.4 million North Carolinians, would lose health insurance. 100 million Americans would.
Okay, yes, at 3 p.m., guys.
Protections, including 1.8 million people in North Carolina. Young people.
We might be able to make it all the way through. I don't know.
Prescription drug prices would skyrocket, stripping Medicare's authority to negotiate low prescription drug costs, repeal $35.
It does say gaggle. It's my bad. I didn't know it was a gaggle. I don't normally do the gaggles.
For health care costs. All right, let me just get to the last thing.
The audio's bad.
The president approved an
B, there's no video.
Assistance package for Haitian security forces to help them protect civilians and critical infrastructure against organized and targeted gang attacks.
Okay, well, here's my question about this. What Haitian security? Like, where is this money going? Because right now, there's no government in Haiti, right? Right now, it's basically fucking strongman rule, right? Gangs and tribes, basically. It's broken down to a tribal system almost. I mean, on some level, right? That's a way to look at it. There's no centralized government, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but in this case it seems to be, right? Because the people weren't ready for that, right? Let's see here. Okay, yeah. So I don't know where they're talking about giving money to Haiti, but who are they giving the money to? Because it's my understanding that the gangs are in control of most of the population. So is the money going to the gangs? I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, right? Like if you told me, oh, the White House just gave $20 billion to Haitian gangs so that they could rebuild the country, I would be like, they only gave them $20 billion?
Assistance package for up to $10 million, which draws from excess Department of Homeland Security stocks, may include weapons, ammunition, bulletproof vests, and helmets. Our support is intended to help Haitians restore security, order, and the rule of law, and protect civilians.
Who? Is this it? Maybe now this money may be going to fund the brave Kenyan saviors to come into Haiti, right? Because remember, they're bringing Kenyans in to do the police force of Kenya or whatever. So maybe that's what she's talking about. I don't know. I'm assuming that that's what she means.
Well, at the same time,
they're not really going to give the money to the gangs. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but I'm just saying.
Remaining committed to supporting Haitian-led effort for a peaceful transition of power. With that,
Hello. So is the president going to send a proposal to Congress asking for more funding? It's going to be a supplemental proposal. What is that going to look like?
which part are you?
Sorry, the bridge.
They need more funding? They just got $1.2 trillion. What the fuck are these guys talking? $1.2 trillion on a $7 trillion budget was not enough extra money? Make it make sense. Please. Oh, I gotta think. There we go. Oh my God. Make it make sense. Oh, that hurts. Make it make sense, guys. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Oh my God. There we go.
Okay, so you heard him. He's directed his team to move heaven and earth to reopen the.
Oh, they're gonna move heaven. Don't worry, they'll move heaven and earth. So basically nothing. Oh my God. Oh, it burns my brain. Right.
But we want to focus on the search and rescue that is critical right now in these upcoming hours.
Karine, just quickly follow.
So they're gonna move heaven and earth, right, to find people that drowned in a river. Okay. Now, hear me out. I don't think that moving heaven or earth, what y'all need to do, right, is move some water. Is it just me, or are they fucking morons? Are they morons? I think they're just morons.
Incident may impact shipping along the East Coast?
I mean, this is very similar to what, obviously, what Chris just asked me. Look, we're going to monitor all of those things. Our focus right now is the search and rescue, and the promise that you heard the president make to the people of Baltimore, the people of Maryland, that we're going to do everything that we can to provide the federal assistance.
Search and rescue doesn't rely on prayers.
Quick one on, the president's point about moving heaven and
They
earth.
shouldn't.
Does that mean the White House and the administration are willing to waive any environmental review process, any permits that?
It's funny how it's funny how an administration that promotes like fucking transgenderism and they have parties with Satanism and all those things. It's funny how all they ever have for anyone is just hopes and prayers, right? When when going gets rough, they have hopes and prayers, right? But whoa, where did I go? But any other time, God is dead, right? The thing. It's the thing. You guys know all about the thing, right? Yeah, well, yeah. You see what I'm trying to say? Like the only time they bring up God, right, or like talk about God favorably, right, is when they don't have any solutions, and then they can send their hopes and prayers. Well, God will take care of that because we don't have any solutions, right? Is where I'm getting at, right? Right? The only time they care about God is when they're out of options, right? And then God takes care of that, right? Okay, I digress. Okay, let's go.
That are required to build the bridge? I mean, are you thinking about?
There was already a bridge there, so it's like it's replacing a bridge that already existed. So I mean, let's not forget that piece of it. So we're gonna work with the state. We're gonna do everything that we can to get a bridge that was already there that obviously collapsed back up. And it is an important bridge to the people of Baltimore and the people of Maryland. So let's not forget.
Oh, it's an important bridge, guys. We're gonna do everything to get a bridge that was there before back up. Oh, well, God, I feel I'm relieved. How about you guys? They're going to move heaven and earth. They're going to move heaven and earth to find the missing people who drowned in the water, right? Well, I mean, They're not going to move any water, right? They're just going to move heaven and earth to find the drowning victims, okay?
Could the White House tap funding from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act?
They're sending their hopes and prayers.
So look,
What more do
we're
you
going to
want?
cover the entire cost to rebuild the important bridge in the region. We're going to work with Congress to ensure this happens. We're going to be in close touch with Governor Moore, and so we'll work hand in hand with this team on whatever is needed to make sure that happens. I just don't want to get ahead of it.
Karine, has there been any update on the Middle East, the peace talks, and if there's any assurances yet from Israel about protection of civilians in Rafah?
So, as you know, I think it might be happening right now. National Security Advisors Jake Sullivan and Minister Gallant had a good, productive meeting. And so they discussed on how the best way to ensure Hamas' lasting defeat in Gaza. Jake also conveyed President Biden's ironclad support for Israeli defense against all threats, including Iran. They also discussed the need for Israel to do more to sustain and expand humanitarian assistance going into Gaza. Jake also welcomed Minister Gallant's commitment to take additional steps to address the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. So I think it's important that Jake had this meeting, or is having this meeting currently. And so those conversations, as we have said consistently over the past several months, they're happening daily with our counterparts.
So no additional fallout from the UN Security Council yesterday?
Clear about this. We've been very clear where we stand here. Our position remains the same.
They have not been clear where they stand on Israel. Out of one side of their mouth, okay? One side of the puppet, they talk about Israel's right to defend itself, which, you know, we all agree that regardless of what you think about Israel or the Palestinians, right? At the end of the day, Israel is a sovereign nation with its own rules, and they have a right to carry out justice, whatever's right by their laws, right? Or whatever, or by internet, or whatever. As long as they're doing their thing, right, and they're doing it the right way, which apparently they're not, but let's just say that they are, okay? But apparently, I see it, guys. I'm not reporting on it. I'm just saying we have bigger things to talk about than some war far away. But, you know, I don't talk about Ukraine war except for, like, you know, when it suits me. And, but yes, I do know that Israel is doing things very harshly, and they're killing a lot of people. They're using food as a weapon. I know all these things, right? I know these things, and I'm not ignoring the story, right? Now that it's going badly. I mean, I kind of am, I guess, a little bit, right? But I know that it looks bad, okay? Okay, now, all right.
Has not changed. So we remain committed to supporting Israel in its fight against Hamas, which has said it wants to repeat October 7th again and again until Israel is annihilated, because we cannot expect Israel to accept a situation in which their citizens, continue to live under active threat. At the same time, as I just said before, it is critical that Israel do whatever possible.
The Army Corps of Engineers is
civilian
probably
casualties
going to
and
put
to
a pontoon bridge up first. Yeah, I doubt that that's even going to get happening, right? What they're going to do is they're going to use it and talk about it, about why they need more money in the future. That's my guess. They're going to use it as a reason to spend more money. That's nothing will happen, and they'll campaign on it to get more money. That's my prediction.
As precisely as possible in targeted operations to protect civilians, including Rafah. As you know, this meeting that Jake is having with the minister is an extra day added on, because they believed it was important to continue the conversation. And I think that's important to note as well.
Karine, really quickly on a different subject, Venezuela's regime blocked the leading opposition candidate to Nicolas Maduro from participating in July's election. I mean, many polls had shown that the opposition candidate was actually leading Maduro. Does the White House have any reaction to this, and would there be potential consequences like sanctions if there's not a free and fair election?
Obviously, we're deeply concerned.
We're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, so No, when they said bridges and roads on these bills, what they actually meant was DEI training to teach transgender pedophiles how to lay high-speed cable out into the country one day. Not today, but one day. And they meant they didn't have money to build new bridges. They were just gonna like make highways bigger and then funnel most of that money into no bid contracts at like elevated fees, so that the people that put them into power will be able to dine at the government trough. So like they're all out there. See, so you gotta see government as it's just this big like conveyor belt of shit, and there's like all these demons on the conveyor belt, like, and they're all lined up to eat the poop as it comes down the conveyor belt, right? And so you have all these demon poop eaters, and they're lined up to the trowel of shit, right? And they'll be like, more shit, we want more shit, and then they just get it on there, and then they take that shit and they go find other more desperate people that are going to be willing to go in there and lie, and those are the people that we call politicians, right? The politicians like suck the shit out of the demon asses as they suck the shit out of the trowel of shit, right? Right? So that's basically how government works, right? The fucking demons, right? They're pushed up to the trowel of shit by the politicians, right? Because they're sucking the shit out of their ass so hard, right? That's basically how our government works, right?
Parties to select their presidential candidates. We are monitoring the situation closely. To your question about sanctions, as we stated back in January, not too long ago, we are committed to maintaining sanctions relief if Maduro upholds the commitments outlined in the agreed to Barbados electoral roadmap. It is critical that the Maduro regime recognize and respect the right of all candidates to run, and so we urge Maduro to do just that. I don't have to.
Just real quick on the bridge.
Hey, do you know, Lucy, I read that Finland is the happiest country on the planet. Is that true? Is it, what was it, the happiest country or the most friendly, something like that? I read that Finland is the least depressed country or something like that, right? Like the happiest country in the world, the people there. Something like that. I'm going to Google it.
Has the president talked to congressional leaders yet? Schumer, Johnson, he has talked to them about the bridge and about what he's going to ask Congress to do.
The leadership in Congress I can speak to. We did give out a readout of the delegation, the Maryland delegation that he reached out to. Obviously, Governor Moore, the mayor.
Fifth time in a row.
Outside of that, obviously.
Finland is the happiest country in the world for the fifth time in a row. For 5 years straight. Starting in 2018, the World Happiness Report has singled out Finland as the happiest place on earth. Wow. Hey, what's up, blind dude? That's crazy.
See, the Office of Leg Affairs is always in close touch with leadership and congressional members. I just don't have anything specifics to read out as the leadership.
Congress is out for the next 2 weeks. Do you have any sense of the timeline on how quickly this funding is going to be needed?
This is for the bridge. This is going back to the bridge. Look, I don't have a timeline for you. The president's commitment is ironclad, and obviously you heard him. We're going to move heaven and earth to make sure that we replace that bridge. We know it's important to the community, to Maryland more broadly, and it is definitely a commitment. You heard it directly from this president.
You're trying to reschedule meeting that Netanyahu withdrew from?
I mean, look, as you know, national security advisors I just mentioned, and also Minister, their team is having their meeting, which is important, from yesterday to discuss operations in Gaza, including alternative course of action for dealing with Hamas presence in Rafah.
Is her audio skipping for you two guys?
Civilians, so I think that's important. That conversation is continuing.
Her or is that my Bluetooth?
Anything to share?
And another quick one on the bridge. There were some indications that the ship had previous safety issues Is the White House exploring any new regulations for foreign ships to avoid something like that happening?
I don't want to get into speculation on what's out there right now. As you know, Secretary Buttigieg is on the ground. He's on site. There's going to be obviously an investigation, so I don't want to get ahead of that either. And with that, we're going to have to...
I know that's Iceland, blind dude. I know Iceland does that.
To wrap it up. We're literally ending. Thanks,
I don't
everybody.
know about
We'll see you on the
Finland.
ground.
Maybe Usi knows. What is going on? What just happened? I think we lost connection with them, guys. I think that's it. Yeah, that was it. The connection just pittered out. So yeah, that was her. The gaggle is skipping. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, so we just lost connection with her.
Well, today, Fonnie.
I have other news. We don't have to do this right now. Let's go ahead and find the Joe Biden event. Okay, 3 p.m. So we'll go ahead and we'll get that. So they're on their way to North Carolina right now. And so I guess we just lost connection to the press conference because they were on a plane. They are going to be delivering remarks. So Biden is on his way. In 36 minutes, we're going to have a speech from Joe Biden. Yeah, Oh, you saw that, blind dude. Yeah, I'm putting, that's one of the channels I watch now, is, Doug Tenaple. Yes, and he did Earthworm Jim. Yes, and now he's based. He's another based cartoonist. So, of course I would watch him, right? Of course, right? Yes. Yep, yeah, I watch that. I watch Doug in Exile, but guys, just wait. If you don't subscribe to him, don't subscribe to him now, because I'm putting together a show, and you want to be like, Space sent me. All right, now, yes, but that's a great channel, indeed. I'm putting together a bunch of shit like that. My age is showing. Oh, you have open prisons. You do have open prisons, Uzi. Okay. Yeah, so confirmed. Finland has all the open I guess a lot of the Nordic countries are like that. Right? What about drugs, Uzi? Are they legal there? Are people shooting heroin on the streets there? Like they are here? Are they standing parallel? Okay, yeah, so we were just talking about assassins targeting Trump, right? Now, Holy Harlot wants more drugs. Yes. Well, everything in moderation, Holy, right? Everything in moderation. Now, only alcohol. Okay, that's cool too. Hey, after my bubble coin launches and I make a whole lot of money and I'm famous, I'm going to go to Amsterdam. All right. Oh, yeah, Felix. Yeah, the van works great. The van's great. The van's fine. I fixed it. Yes. I sure did, buddy. Opiates and meth. Yeah, that's the problem we have here, too. Well, you know, it's a worldwide thing. It's almost like the Chinese are attacking are attacking Western culture. Now, Grassley releases whistleblower documents about a multi-agency probe into American cartel gun running. Yeah, so the gun gun control. Gun control is not about controlling the flow of guns into the hands of criminals, right? It's about restricting the rights of law-abiding citizens from exercising their constitutional rights. It's about restricting your right to exercise your rights, right? Now, but when it comes to funneling drugs or guns into the hands of drug cartels and human smuggling rings, right? Especially those human smuggling rings, gotta have those. Now, when it comes to that, well, God damn it, I guess we're just culpable, right? Somehow, government did it. Now, internal government documents disclosed to a team of Senate investigators offers new details about a secret intelligence project that was successfully dismantling U.S. weapon smuggling networks into Mexico until it was abruptly shut down without explanation in fiscal year 2022, right? So we were actively and successfully stopping the flow of guns or something, right? I'm sure we were still making sure guns got there, right? But making sure that they only got to the ones we like, right? But now we're not even doing that, right? So, God damn it. Excuse me. The new documents exclusively obtained by CBS were sent by Grassley on Thursday to 9 federal law enforcement agencies within the Departments of Justice, Homeland Security, State and Postal Service. It's weird, yeah, the Postal Service. So I guess they're using mail. I guess they're just mailing it to them. They accompanied a set of sternly worded letters demanding that each department disclose details about project... shaky. All right, let's read. The American people deserve to know more about the Biden administration's strategy to target cartel firearms networks in the U.S., wrote Grassley, questioning exactly how committed the U.S. government has been to stem the flow of American weapons into the hands of cartels. So, they are... So, basically what's going on is the Biden administration canceled, without explanation or details, a service that was at least monitoring the flow of drugs into Mexico, or guns into Mexico, right, to drug cartels. That's what I meant. Right, so, yeah, they're definitely not trading the guns for drugs. They don't do that anymore, okay? Now, so Grassley is releasing... Okay, so this is how this works, okay? Grassley already knows that this shit's going on. Right? They all know that what's going on. He can't talk about it because of his security clearance, right? But if something is made public, anything that's made public, right, then Grassley can talk about it, right? So he can't release these documents until a whistleblower comes forward, and that's what happens here, right? So people came forward with documents that they already know about, right? They already know these things. This is no secret to anyone, right? In the government, anyone with the security clearance knows it, right? So the only way that they can if Grassley just came out and was like, I know all these top secret things that are illegal, he'd be arrested, right? Because he's breaking his security clearance, right? So the only way, once something is made public, right, through a whistleblower, a declassification, something like that, right? As soon as it's made public, then people are allowed to comment on it publicly because it's no longer a secret, right? It's raining hard here, guys. I see you guys are talking about the weather. So this is how it works. So it was started under Donald Trump, right? And it targets U.S.-based firearms trafficking networks supplying the cartels in order to shut them down, seize the real property associated, and indict, extradite, and prosecute the heads of those networks, right? Oh, wait, can't see it. Right? So these are all the agencies involved. God damn it. These are all the agencies involved in it. We have the ATF, Special Operations Division, Maine DOJ, Customs and Border Patrol, now NTC, I don't know, National Terrorism, I guess, Counter Network Division, the DEA, the USPIS, I don't know what that even is, the USPIS, the FBI, OCEDTF, the fuck is that? OCEDTF. I don't even know what that is. My OCD is fucking going crazy now. I got OCD, what the fuck? Okay, I just typed W. God damn it. OCDTDF. What the fuck is that? Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Forces. Okay. Okay. HSI, USMS. Wow. The Department of Defense. SOCOM. God, they got Call of Duty involved in this and shit. They got SOCOM forces. I thought that was just a video game. All right, over 19,000 weapons were recovered. Oh, wow, a whole 19,000. Now, yeah, so they cost $214 million to do it. Okay, so they recovered 20,000 weapons out of the 426,000 that were trafficked. That's in a 2-year period. So there's 200,000 weapons possibly trafficked every year, and they recovered 19,000 of them over 5 years. So they were doing a bang-up job, guys. Right? And what? You know how they know how many guns get trafficked to the Mexican cartels? Because they count them when they sell them to them. Now, well, I mean, that's how it's always worked, guys. Right? What do? They take those drugs and they flood them on the streets, and they take the money that they get from selling the drugs and they use them to fund black projects, right? Like, well, in the 80s, it was funding revolutions in South America, So they trade the guns for the drugs, right? So that they sell the drugs for more money, and then they fund wars everywhere. Like what Cuba, right? Cuba, right? It is right now is in turmoil. Haiti's in turmoil, right? There's jihadis bombing Iran. There's jihadis bombing Russia, right? There's fucking American boots on the ground in Taiwan. Mitch McConnell's sister just winding up dead at the bottom of a shallow lake in a car that the officers could stand on the car, so it was only so submerged, right? Like, all these things have just happened in the last 3 months. Yeah, the $3 trillion that they lost the day before 9/11 happened, and all the gold that mysteriously disappeared. Because it's my understanding at the bottom of the Twin Towers, there was a gold exchange, right? Not a gold exchange, but like vaults for the gold exchange, right? Like the hard assets that they used to back their trades, right? There was that. Now, I don't know what happened to that gold. But did I mention George Bush? No, all I know is, yeah. If you guys don't know, we really need to do a show about George Bush. Anyway, so this is all about it. We're not going to go all into it because we have way more news to talk about still. But yeah, look at that. Since 2007, 21,000 people were killed in Afghanistan. Iraq, 80,000. Mexico, 164,000. Yeah, one day we're going to do a show about George Bush. It's a lot to go over, and I don't want to cheat you, right? There's just so much. You don't know how bad George Bush is. All of them. Anyone named George. Prescott Bush. Anyone named Bush should be shot. I don't even care if they're related or not. Not like shot. They should be crimed for they should be executed by the state for charges of fucking treason. Anyone named Bush. I don't care if they're a football player. I don't give a shit. Execute. Just to be safe. Okay, guys. Russian hypersonic fighter jets scramble to intercept a nuclear-capable U.S. bomber at the border. Russia has said one of its fighter jets intercepted 2 nuclear-capable American strategic bombers near the country's border, sending tensions with NATO soaring on Sunday. This is big news, guys. No one's going to talk about it. No one is going to talk about this story, but it's very big news. In a post on Telegram, the Russian Defense Ministry said I'm just saying it figures it would be on Telegram. Russian means of airspace control over the Barents Sea detected a group of air target approaching the state border of the Russian Federation. To identify an air target and prevent violation of the state border of the Russian Federation, a MiG-31 fighter from the Air Defense Forces on duty was scrambled into the air. The Russian fighter crew identified the aerial target as a pair of U.S. Air Force B-1B strategic bombers. As the Russian fighters approached the American strategic bombers, these are stealth bombers, guys. Okay? I believe. Right? Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like a strategic bomber crew. These would be stealth, right? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but my gut tells me that these are going to be stealth. Let's look it up, okay? Where is it? B-1B. Let's just look this up and see if this is stealth. Because if it is, we've got a big problem here. Okay, it is a supersonic variable swept wing heavy bomber used by the United States Air Force. The Bone. It looks stealth to me. It's the most dangerous bomber on Earth. With stealth features, okay? Yeah, guys, this is a big deal. This is a game-changing scenario here, okay? The Russians detected a stealth bomber fleet, not just a stealth bomber. Apparently, according to what we're reading here, this is our flagship, right? This is our iPhone 20 or whatever, right? This is our iPhone 25, right? It says the Bone. It's called the Bone from B1, right? Okay. Oh, my bad. Here, let me show you. It says Bone right here. B1. B1 the Bone. Because it's called the B1, right? Here's what it looks like. We'll go to images. That's what it looks like. Here, I will put them up on full screen. Wow. That's a badass plane. Look at that. That's a bomber? Holy shit. Oh, look how big it is. There's a kind of, for scale, those are the lines on the landing strip. So it's not huge. It's not huge. It's just fast. Hey, we got Ron Martin. Hey, what's up, Ron? Yeah, Joe Biden sucks. You can have a wrench. You're awesome. All right. Now, yeah, look at that. Wow. Yeah, so this is our stealth bomber. A stealth bomber. A stealth-capable bomber or whatever, however they described it. Now, let's read more about how they did this. They're probably not going to tell us, but this is important. Now, the Russian fighter crew identified the aerial target. Oh, I guess they are going to tell us. Excuse me, guys. I got a little congestion. The Russian fighter crew identified the aerial target as a pair of U.S. Air Force B-1B strategic bombers. As the Russian fighter approached, the American strategic bombers adjusted their flight course, moving away and then turning around from the state border of the Russian Federation. According to official statements, the U.S. bombers approached Russian airspace but veered away before breaching territorial boundaries. The specifics of the incidents were partially disclosed by Norway. So Norway was able to track it. By Norway's armed forces, which confirmed that the planes traversed Norwegian airspace before proceeding into international airspace over the Barents Sea. While Norway's joint headquarters near it's that weird O. How's that? Bodo? Acknowledged the incursion. Spokesperson Ryder Flasnes did not provide additional information citing U.S. authority over the flights, but added that the flights were approved by Norway's Ministry of Defense. What's this, a video? Oh yeah, we got video. Oh, this is them. This is these are fighter jets intercepting a drone. MiGs are pieces of shit. You know that MiGs are okay. So MiGs are much faster than American jet fighters, right? Right, but American jet fighters are superiorly weaponized and also much better at turning, right? There's a reason for this, okay? Because American jets are made to shoot down MiGs, and MiGs are made to run away. That's absolutely true, right? So MiGs are pieces of shit, right? You know, if you are going into a war, you want it like an F-16 or something, F-18, right? It's a fuel dump. It's an old video. Yeah, I know, but I was just showing you a video that was there. I wanted to watch it. Okay. The operation involved 3 U.S. KC-135R. Okay, now there were Strato tankers, Uzi. Strato tankers, right? Departing from the Mildenhall Air Base. Whoa! That's like Dragon Warrior. Ah. That's awesome. Oh, that's cool. All right, airbase early Sunday morning. These tankers traverse Norwegian and Swedish airspace, providing vital fuel support to the U.S. bombers and potentially bolstering NATO fighter jets within the Arctic Circle. All right? F-18's old. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying F-18 is still... What? Yeah, it's still... I mean, the Russians are probably flying 20, 35-year-old jets too, you know what I'm saying? We got to blow those up before we can, like, mass produce the new ones, right? Yeah, we gave the fucking... Right, we were bitching about giving the Ukrainians F-15s, right? Now, yeah. So Russians are detecting our supersonic stealthy jets. That's not good. And there was like a nuclear incident. That's basically a nuclear incident, and no one is talking about it. You know what I mean? There was basically a nuclear incident, and literally no one is talking about it. Oh yeah, Salty. Absolutely. Yeah. Vans. But I mean, they didn't carry it. Why would Vans want to carry away all of the gold the night before the towers fall? I mean, that's just crazy talk. That's just crazy talk. What do Vans have to do with billions of dollars in gold? What? That's conspiracy theory. All right, now, Mexican president says the flow of migrants will continue unless the U.S. meets his demands. The security. Oh, yeah. Well, what? What? Yo, Securicom? Good old Securicom? Why, they're the safest. That's crazy. You don't want Marvin Bush? What? On the 9/11 on your security? I mean, on not because Marvin Bush is only going to secure your building up until the day that it collapses. It's not his problem after that. Okay, but God, you mean to tell me that Marvin Bush's Securicom contract on the World Trade Center complex expired on 9/11? No. Expired on 9/11? No. There's no way Marvin Bush, cousin to the President of the United States, right, that his security company called Securicom, that they we're not talking about Marvin. We're talking about Mexico. Mexico, guys. Mexico is in a position to tell the United States where to get off because, I don't know, structural racism or something. Now, Mexican presidents, the flow of migrants will continue unless the U.S. meets his demands. His demands. The Mexican president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador. That's a lot of names. I don't know why he has so many names, but you think he's got a lot of names. You guys think that's a lot of names. Where do you hear his demands? He's got way more demands than he has names. All right. Warned on Sunday during an interview with 60 Minutes. Hold on, let's check on the president. He may have started already. Okay, no, he's late. Mexican president, many names, guy with many names, on Sunday said during an interview with 60 Minutes that unless the United States complies, we have to comply. No. To Latin America's request for aid. Oh, so it's all about the Benjamins. What do you know? The tide of migrants will continue. In January, Obrador issued a series of demands for what the U.S. we must do to stop the flow of migrants to the border, ranging from sending Latin American countries a mere meager drop in a bucket, a small amount of $20 billion U.S. dollars in aid a year. It's $20 billion a year, son. Granting some level of amnesty, okay, to illegal immigrant workers in the United States. Now, Mexico has reportedly taken some state-level action to curb mass migration at President Biden's request, making crossings drop. However, the number of migrants began to rise again in February, with Border Patrol expecting another surge in the spring. It began to rise again. February was the all-time record for migrants entering the country in 1 month. In the history of a history. Now, but everybody thinks you have the power in this moment to slow down migration. Do you? 60 Minutes correspondent Sharon Alphonse goddamn fucking jihadi, okay? So we're sending Muslims to meet Mexican presidents in order to accept their list of demands for the country. No, okay. She asked him, and he said, we do and want to continue doing it, but we do want for the root causes to be attended to, for them to be seriously looked at, a translator interpreted. Alphonse noted Obrador's demands for the U.S. to send $20 billion a year to Latin America countries, lift sanctions on Venezuela, end the Cuban embargo, and legalize millions of Mexicans that are living in the United States. So those are Mexico's demands on us, right? In order for them to quit funneling migrants. Not quit. They're not going to quit doing it, but they're going to diminish the amount. Now, if they don't do the things that you've said need to be done, then what, she asked. The flow of migrants will continue. Guys, it will continue. My volume's too low. There we go. All right, there we go. The flow of migrants will continue, guys, if we don't do what the president of Mexico demands. We have to do it. Now, your critics have said what you're doing, what you're asking for to help secure the border is diplomatic blackmail, Alphonse said. What do you say? I'm speaking frankly, Obrador said. We have to say things as they are. And I always say what I feel. I always say what I think. Now, I do respect the tenacity of the man, and I got to admit, that's a ballsy move, right? But he's kind of a badass, just putting it up there like that, just like putting his dick on the table and swinging it, right? But fuck you. Fuck you. How about we invade Mexico, right? That seems to be the answer here, is what I'm saying, is what I've always said, and will continue to say until America stretches from the North Pole to the South Pole to the Philippines, to fucking Korea, to Vietnam, till Taiwan is the 83rd state, okay? Until Israel is the 55th state, okay? Right? That is the answer here, okay? I don't understand why we don't do that, why we haven't done that, and why we're not doing it right now. Why are we bombing Iraq when we could be bombing Mexico? Doesn't that make more sense? Doesn't that make more sense? What's the deal here, man? Well, they're the ones making demands on us, right? Like the Mexican president said, if they don't do the things you will continue. If they don't do those things, will you continue to help secure the border? Okay, they asked the president of Mexico. Yes, because our relationship is very, very important. It's fundamental. Earlier in the episode, Alfonsi said that while immigration, the border, and the economy are key issues in the 2024 election, the person who could tip the scales for either candidate is another president like Obrador. Right? So, Mexican president basically told us where the fuck to get off and blackmailed us and demanded that we turn over, and I'm not making this up, $20 billion a year. It's going to cost about $20 billion, right? But here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Remember when they wouldn't give Trump like $1 billion to build the wall or something? $5 billion? I can't remember what the number was. It's some made up number. But whatever it was less than $20 billion a year. That's my point. Right? Remember, like, Trump would want some money to secure the border, and they would fight him over that. But I bet you Joe Biden gives Mexico this $20 billion. And he says, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll give you your $20 billion. No, he won't. No, he won't. Joe Biden doesn't give a shit. Joe Biden wants more immigrants. He ain't giving Mexico shit then. The answer to this problem is not giving Mexico $20 billion, okay? The answer to this problem is invading Mexico, invading Venezuela, invading Guatemala, and making them part of the United States, right? Fucking Mexico can be the 50 fucking first state of the Union, right? The Philippines, motherfucking, what is another one? Guam? I don't know. All of them. Venezuela, specifically Venezuela, because, I mean, why go all the way to Iraq for that oil when we can just get it down in Venezuela? Like, see this is how our government should be working, right? This is how, right? Like, and not just our neighbors, but our, we should be Americanizing the world, right? Right? Except for those, I mean, it just doesn't work in the Middle East. It doesn't work in the Middle East, right? We can't seduce them with dance parties and drugs and prostitutes because those people are so opposed to that it'll never work, right? But we can do that in Latin America, right? They're more conducive to that kind of Americanization, right? They will respond favorably to drugs, dance parties, and prostitution, right? And, moral decay. So, that does work there, right? So, that's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be policing and invading we shouldn't be fighting in Ukraine. We should be fighting in motherfucking Venezuela. We should be we should be annexing fucking British Columbia, right? Not fucking around in fucking wherever, right? If Taiwan wants protection, well, we should be putting more than a few hundred boots on the ground. We should be putting 20,000, 50,000, right? And toppling their government and installing a puppet, right? And giving them all drugs and dance parties and prostitution. That's what we do. That's America, right? Corrupting their values, westernizing them, and all right, we're still waiting on the president. I'm glad some of you stayed around. Oh, yeah. We're still waiting on the president. We're talking about America fucking up on the world stage. If you guys remember. I don't know if you guys remember what we were talking about, but we were bitching about how America really didn't do what it was supposed to do, right? And now we have the president of Mexico telling us where to get off. And that's a bunch of bullshit. We shouldn't have the president of Mexico telling us where to get off, because it's ours. It's ours now. That's what we should be doing, right? That's the only thing. Like, the lines are being drawn worldwide, right? It's only a matter of time before China is in control of South America, right? And we need to do something. Yeah, let's redefine the Mexican invasion. I'm with you on that. What do you got, blind dude? This better be a video about mining gold. Oh, it's Trump. Yeah, beta conquistadors. Yeah, well, see, that's the... Had we spent the 2000s conquering our neighbors, right, like everybody wanted to do, but nobody had the balls to do, you all know it's true, right? We should have spent our time at the top, uncontested, not in Iraq, but in fucking Peru, or somewhere that made sense, right? If we're going to use our army, we should use it like everyone had always used their armies forever and ever. Dominating their neighbors.
We have to very, very carefully vet.
Here we go. Let's play your video, blind dude.
To be smart, we have to be vigilant. So here it is, the snake.
We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to.
I can't even read it. That might be a me problem. Hold on. Did you make the little beat? Did you make the beat, blind dude?
Very, very carefully vet. We have to be smart. We have to be vigilant. So here it is, the snake.
We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big, beautiful
the word Trump.
We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big, beautiful wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big, beautiful wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big, beautiful wall.
Oh, President Trump, I see it now.
On her way to work one morning, down the path, along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been...
Neat. Oh, you found it online. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Not as cool as if you made it, but it's still cool. Ish, I guess. Okay, I guess we're still waiting for the president. Let's see here. Okay, we got other stories. Baltimore bridge collapse sparks baseless attack theories. They're baseless, guys. They don't know what the problem was, okay? They don't know what the problem... Alright, now we're back. Okay, everything's fine. It came back. Oh, yeah, no, the beats were cool. Yeah, no, I'm not trying to slap you down. Bruh, I'm not trying to slap you down. I'm just, I'm just voicing what I think at the time. I don't know. I just say what comes into my head. Now, conspiracy theorists said Tuesday, that the Baltimore bridge collapse resulted from an international attack, despite officials quickly saying there was no evidence of foul play. Hours after a container ship struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge, sending vehicles and people plunging into the U.S. city's frigid harbor. And remember, the administration is moving heaven and earth to get those people out of the water. Now, that's what Karine said. Users across X and other platforms blamed everything from terrorists to Israel. Among the most widespread posts came from the influencer Andrew Tate, who told his 9 million followers on X that the 300-meter vessel was cyber-attacked. Lights go off and it deliberately steers towards the bridge support, the U.S.-born Briton said. Foreign agents of the USA attack digital infrastructures. Nothing is safe. Okay, now, this is kind of where I wanted to get to. Okay, now, there's multiple ways to look at this, and that's definitely one way, right? That's definitely one way that you can look at this. And it's very suspicious that the boat would just stop like that at that time. But these boats, right, this does happen. This has happened throughout time, that boats just, lose power. They shut down. It's not, right, they have a lot of moving parts. They have a diesel engine, right, but there's a lot of pieces to the drive shaft and all that of the boat, right? It's a very complex machine, and with complexity comes failure points, right? Right? So it's not uncommon for these things to shut down, right? So, but that being said, right, it is suspect that, especially that it would happen just days after, well, let's be honest, a very highly suspect attack on Russia, right? So, I don't know. Nothing's a coincidence, right? There's coincidences, right? And then there's conspiracy theories, and then there's facts, right? And we don't have all the facts, right? But it is... It accelerated to 8.5 knots. Okay, what I've heard, the official report that I've heard, okay, says that there was something happened. There was a puff of black smoke, right? And those are indicate that the ship was having some sort of mechanical problem, right? There was some sort of mechanical problem. There was black smoke coming out of it. And, yeah. The word is the official story or the early report, and these are always wrong. So, but the early report on this is that the boat shut down and the pilot either lost control completely or was only partially able to regain control. Something along those lines. Okay? That's what I've heard. Okay? But let's find out. There was no immediate confirmation of the cause of the collapse, but Baltimore Police Commissioner Richard Worley said that there was no indication of terrorism. InfoWars founder Alex Jones found liable in multiple defamation lawsuits. They got to bring that up. Oh my God, Sandy Hook Elementary said, "It looks deliberate to me. A cyber attack is probable. World War III has already started." Yeah, well, we all know World War III has already started, right? Right? I mean, isn't it ironic? Don't you think? A little too ironic that we bust Iran funneling weapons through the Red Sea, either to the Yemens or to the Hamas, right? Days later, jihadis attack Iran, right? We get caught. Russia cock blocks our resolution in the UN. Hours later, they get jihadied. The same group that jihadis Iran, jihadis Russia. Now, we have what looks like some kind of equipment we're just going to leave it at equipment malfunction for now, right? We'll just say equipment malfunction for now, right? That happens just as a boat is about to collide with a bridge or something, right? Okay, according to Uzi, and Uzi's like actually pretty reliable. He hasn't really fucked up yet. It left the harbor, made a U-turn, went straight, steered a bit towards the pillar, and hit. Okay. There's probably a video. We could... Okay, footage appeared to show the ship going dark twice in the moments before the collision. And Maryland Governor Wes Moore said during a press conference Tuesday, the crew notified authorities of a power issue. Okay? It drifted, yeah. Because it's out of power, right? According to the people on the ship, there's some kind of power issue happening, right? Moore added that officials had not seen any credible evidence of a terrorist attack. It's definitely not terror, guys. Bill Del Bagno, special agent in charge of the FBI's Baltimore field office, also said there was no evidence of terrorism. So it's definitely not terrorism. These assurances have not stopped the deluge of rumors on X, where some accounts are linking the tragedy to the United States' abstention in a UN Security Council vote calling for an immediate ceasefire in the Gaza war. Where is this president? He's normally not this late. "34 minutes late. God damn it." Hold on. Okay, anyway. Where are we at? We're on the bridge. Oh, okay, well. Here's what I wanted to say also on it, right? This ship crashed into a European port in 2016, right? So this specific ship has done crashing before. Right? Okay, let's find out more about the ship. Oh, no, wait. This is not right. Okay, a cargo ship collided with Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge on Tuesday, causing it to collapse. The same ship was involved in a crash in Antwerp, Belgium in 2016. The cause of both incidents was not immediately clear. The container ship that collided with Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge was involved in another crash in 2016. The Dali, a Singapore flagged ship, crashed into the bridge early on Tuesday, knocking its whole span into the Patapsco River. It was not immediately clear whether anyone was hurt or killed, but authorities have declared the collapse a mass casualty event. So, yeah. We're not sure that they're dead, but there's a lot of them dead. Okay. ABC News, citing U.S. officials, said that the Dali lost propulsion soon before hitting the support pillar. Live stream video, we need to get that video, viewed by Business Insider, showed the ship's lights cutting out shortly before impact. It is not the first time the Dali has hit something. The ship was involved in another collision in July 2016, the year after it was built. Maritime blogs, including Shipwreck Log and Vessel Finder, posted videos of the stern of the same container vessel scraping against a quay in Antwerp, Belgium. Now, I don't know how often something that doesn't sound like a major thing like this, but and I'm sure that almost every ship has bumped the dock before, right? I don't think that that's a major infraction, okay? The facts here are still murky, but spotting any warning signs or patterns in the ship's past could help explain what went wrong. See, okay. Now I'm starting to think. Okay, hear me out. Now I'm more inclined to say that they're covering something, right? Because of how they're using this minor accident, a scrape of basically a buoy, right? They're associating that with hitting this bridge, right? When ships bump into the dock all the time, right? Right? This never they don't hardly ever knock out entire bridges, okay? They do. It's happened before, right? But I don't know. It just makes me more suspect by the fact that they're trying to use this ordinary kind of, we're going to call it owie, right? Ouchie. Like an ordinary boo-boo, right? And they're trying to compare it to something on the scale of knocking out an entire bridge, right? I wonder how many ships, bump into each other. It's got to be a lot. That's why they have tugboats. Okay. Yeah, but even those, right? I'm sure the tugboats hit things. I'm sure that a large portion of all the boats on the water have had some kind of minor skirmish like this, right? So it is currently owned. So it's not even the same company that owns the boat now that owns it then, right? So that's going to be more of a management thing too, right? But just a minor bump up against the side of the dock and knocking out a bridge is two entirely different things, right? In a statement sent to the Brussels Business Insider, Marsk's, I guess that's the company that owns it, said it was horrified at the crash. It said that Dali was carrying Marsk cargo, but that none of its staff were on board. Okay, so, but let that be known that this boat also bumped, one of these things on the port here, right? Where is this president at? He is late, boy. He's late. Okay, let's watch the bridge collapse or whatever. There it goes collapsing.
Please welcome the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Oh, we got Kamala too? Oh, shit. This is going to be a trainer. Okay, guys. Joe Biden is doing so bad, they got to have Kamala as the meat of the event. That should tell you something's wrong here, guys. That should tell you there's something wrong with this country.
Hello, North Carolina.
Oh, God. Oh, God, no.
Oh, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Please have a seat, everyone. Please have a seat. So before I begin, I will say a few words.
We don't know how many are dead yet.
Baltimore this morning. I know we are all praying for the families of those who are missing and all those who have been touched by this tragedy. I spoke with the governor of Maryland this morning, and we have directed the federal government to use all the resources that are available to assist with the search and rescue, to reopen the port, and to rebuild the bridge as quickly as possible. And of course, I know we all will stand and continue to stand with the people of Maryland.
They're going to need money.
And now I will discuss the reason.
My bet is on that nothing gets rebuilt, or it takes forever. It goes way over budget, and nothing happens until Congress passes some kind of bill with all kinds of pork for all kinds of shit that has nothing to do with bridges.
Why we are here today. So again, it is good to be back in this beautiful state. It is good to be here with my dear friend, Governor Roy Cooper. Governor Cooper and I served together as attorneys general. And so I have known his work for many years, and I will tell you, no one fights harder for the people of this state than Roy Cooper. Yes.
That means Roy Cooper is a Soros agent?
I also see your extraordinary Attorney General, Josh Stein, who is a powerful, powerful defender of our most fundamental rights and freedoms. And thank you, Josh, for all your work.
Our most fundamental, she means abortion.
So we here agree.
She means that he promotes abortion and takes away guns and speech.
And not just a privilege of those who can afford it. Yes. And guided then by that fundamental belief, over the past 3 years, President Biden and I have made health care more accessible and more affordable for millions of Americans. We cut the cost of prescription drugs for millions of seniors.
We killed a bunch of people with our crazy vaccines.
We made the largest.
Look, nothing made the healthcare system more affordable than killing 2 million old people with fucking a novel coronavirus. That really, really, really reduced medical spending in this country.
Largest investment in youth mental health in history. With 14,000 new mental health counselors in schools across our nation, including hundreds.
In schools across our nation. She sounds more nasally than I do, and I've got fucking, my whole nose is stuffed up. And she sounds like this.
Here in North Carolina. And we strengthened the Affordable Care Act so that today, more Americans have health care coverage than ever before in the history of our country.
Wasn't she just sorry about 20 plus deaths? Oh, there's 20 plus dead?
As you have heard and know, 14 years ago, when he was vice president, Joe Biden helped pass the Affordable Care Act. And he is without doubt one of our nation's greatest champions.
14,000 gender counselors, exactly.
11 years ago, when I was Attorney General of California, I led 10 other state attorneys general to defend the ACA in the United States Supreme Court.
You guys want to repair this bridge? Well, it's going to require about 14,000 gender counselors.
And together, we have since signed up millions of Americans for affordable.
Exactly, Bly. You got it, bro.
Also
you got
on
it.
The
you
crisis,
get it.
The health care crisis of maternal mortality. Because in the 21st century...
When she says we're going to alleviate the crisis of maternal mortality, what she means is we're just going to abort all the babies so that there's no risk to the mother.
In the United States of America...
I wonder how many women die having abortions. That's a good thing. Let's look that up.
It should not be the case that women here die in connection with childbirth at a higher rate than women in any other wealthy nation in the world. That black women are 3 times as likely to die in connection with pregnancy. Native women twice as likely to die in connection with pregnancy. Rural women 1.5 more times as likely to die.
It's like 10 a year. No more than 10 a year. Women die from having abortions. So it's not zero. It's not zero.
Millions of women in America do not have access.
It's actually less than 10. It's between like 2 and 6 are the highest numbers I've seen.
When we took office, in most states,
women die every year from abortion.
Women on Medicaid were only entitled to 2 months of coverage for postpartum care. 2 months. And
only 2 months?
States, when we
only
took
2
office,
months?
Only 3 states in our nation offered 12 months of postpartum care. So many of you know how I am. We came in and I said, okay, let's issue a challenge, which I did, to every state in our nation. Extend postpartum Medicaid coverage from a measly 2 months to 12 months. And
Back in my day, women had babies that went back to work next week. I'm just saying.
I am proud, North Carolina, to report so far a total of 45 states have now completed that challenge, including North Carolina. And Governor Cooper, thank you for answering.
One man's abortion is another man's ritual sacrifice to Moloch. Oh, speaking of Moloch, one of the videos I'm going to show you guys when we do the channels I'm watching, he breaks into Bohemian Grove.
But while President Biden and I are fighting to expand access to affordable health care, there are extremists in our country trying to take away health care coverage or make it more expensive. Extremists
150
who want
million
to take
divided
away
by
coverage
10.
from our seniors by trying to cut Social Security and Medicare.
That's 15
they want
million.
to take away coverage for working families by trying to gut Medicaid. And they want to take away coverage from people with pre-existing conditions by continuously trying to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
Fuck the Affordable Care Act.
And across our nation, extremists attack.
The Affordable Care Act has only increased the cost of medicine in this country. Like it's ballooned under the Affordable Care Act. So the Affordable Care Act resulted in more expensive medicine and lower quality care. Because now the hospitals are overrun too.
A woman's access to health care and reproductive health care. They have proposed and passed laws.
Finland has maternity leave for abortions? Is that what you're saying?
That criminalize doctors and punish women. Laws
180
that
days?
Oh,
for both parents.
Prison time, even for life.
Wow. 6 months of maternity paid?
Simply for providing reproductive care. Laws that even make no exception for rape or incest.
See, it always comes back to abortion.
Is a health care crisis.
Make sure
with real harm.
Guys, abortion is a constitutional right, but free speech and guns are on the table.
Consider, since Roe was overturned, I have met women who were refused care during a miscarriage. I met a woman who went to the emergency room and was turned away repeatedly because the doctors there were afraid they may be thrown in jail for helping her. And it was only when she developed sepsis.
And then the unicorn came out, and we all had magic ice cream.
Earlier this month, I visited a clinic in Minnesota where I met with medical professionals, courageous and dedicated women who provide critical health care.
Critical health care means abortion, okay? That's health care now, okay? That's your health care.
Who also see around our country that clinics just like theirs are
abortion clinics
being forced to close around our nation. And understand.
Oh, what a shame. Oh, what a shame. Maybe Yeah, why is there... Why, guys, why is it that you have to wait 16 months to see a dentist, but you can get an abortion same day? That's a little... You gotta wait 16 months to see the dentist, but abortion, we get you in today. You can't even get a haircut the same day a lot of times.
Clinics that extremists are forcing to close.
But abortion, we get you in right now.
So much more than abortion care. They provide breast cancer screenings, contraceptive care, PAPs, essential life-saving care being denied to millions of women across our country.
What about all the fire bombings at the pregnancy centers that also provide essential life-saving care, right? I bet you the pregnancy centers save more lives than the abortion clinics, honey. I somehow I think that you got your priorities, I mean, a little fucked up. You're trying to save lives by murdering babies, right? But I gotta wait 15 fucking weeks to see the goddamn fucking dentist.
So I'll end where I begin. Access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege. No matter who you are, where you live, or how much you earn. And President Biden, with your support, will continue to make sure that everyone in our country has the health care they need. And now, to say a few words about the profound impact that access to affordable health care has on a family, please join me in welcoming Lori Kelly. Lori.
Fuck this person. Skip. She's gonna talk about abortion. We don't care. Yeah, look at her. Of course she kills her babies.
President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Hail to the chief, he's a kitty sniffing weirdo. Hail to the chief, cause he don't know where he is right now. And if you can find him, please tell him that not to shake hands with a ghost.
Please, all have a seat.
Abort my teeth.
Thank you. Please, thank you. Lori, thank you for the introduction and for sharing your story with us. As a daughter, a mom, a granddaughter, grandmother, I should say, you're doing everything you can to care for the family and for yourself while still taking care of others in need. You're incredible. Pretty incredible. And so is Kamala. She's really incredible.
Oh, she's incredible, all right. Incredibly
Vice President of the United
stupid.
States, as Attorney General of California, Kamala always fought for people like Lori, who stood for the basic truth that health care is a right, should be a right, not just a privilege in America. And I want to especially thank your incredible Governor, Roy Cooper.
Fuck Roy Cooper.
And by the way, he is an incredible governor, and First Lady Kristen Cooper, for welcoming us today and for their friendship. You know, when I think of the Coopers, I think of one word, and I mean it sincerely. Highest compliment I can get anybody who's ever been elected to office. They have enormous integrity. They have enormous integrity. Because Roy Cooper never gave up, North Carolina finally expanded Medicare coverage, which already is helping 400,000 North Carolinians so far. 400,000.
I'd like to see the proof of that. They must be illegal immigrants.
That all by itself is a heck of a legacy. I also want to thank your Attorney General, Josh Stein, who defended ACA and fought to expand Medicaid as well.
They must all be illegal immigrants,
An
guys.
outstanding leader. And folks, look, speaking of great leaders and legacies, 14 years ago this week, I stood by President Obama when he signed the Affordable Care Act into law. Obama.
Yeah, I was there in
Many of you,
1821.
no, I thought it was a big deal. Thank God my mom wasn't around. Well, look, even as it's a bigger deal today.
Yay, his
The
mom is
Affordable Care Act,
dead.
the most consequential health care since Medicare and Medicaid, and that's a fact. It was always about millions of Americans lying in bed, staring at the ceiling at night, wondering what will happen.
They were staring at the ceiling, guys. Staring at the ceiling. That's what he said.
Americans lying in bed, staring at the ceiling at night,
At their stealing.
wondering what will happen if I lose my insurance. I'll never forget, my dad came home one day. We lived in a 3-bedroom house with 4 kids and a grandpa living with us. And my bedroom wall backed up to where they were. And I could hear my dad was restless as hell.
Yeah, I can hear my dad. He's just fumbling around, worried about how he's going to pay for my asthma medicine.
Understand why. And the next morning I was 14
For
years old.
my insulin, and that's why I got insulin down to $35. True story. Come on, man.
What's the matter? He said, well, he just lost his health insurance. The company he worked for no longer is paying for health insurance. You know, there's a lot of people lying in bed at night staring at the ceiling, literally wondering what will happen if my spouse gets cancer or my child gets seriously ill. Will I have enough insurance? Can we afford the medical bills? Will we have to sell the house? What we're going to have to do? Because of all of you in this room and across the country, we changed that and made the Affordable Care Act the law of the land.
It's the law of the land. Just like Roe v. Wade was.
But Donald Trump and his MAGA friends
It was his
are
Puerto
nothing
Rican dad,
but
yes.
persistent. They've tried to repeal it 50 times.
You know
Not
Joe
just
Biden, he's a
50
Puerto Rican
times.
guy.
They've tried to
He
repeal
grew
it.
up in the Puerto
We
Rican
stopped them every
community
time.
with
Now-
his dad, the great
Now they just
philosopher,
released the budget again. 120 or
and his slave-owning grandfather.
160, I'm not sure how many of the House members put out their budget for next year. They want to get rid of the Affordable Health Care Act again.
And Roe v. Wade. And corn pop.
We're going to stop them again. Look.
They were all shaking heads with
Kamala and I
ghosts
have come
back
back
then.
to North Carolina
That's what
to
they
celebrate
did.
the
You rust up your straight razor and you go out and you shake hands with ghosts. That's just what we did. We shook hands with ghosts and we fell off our bikes, and anyone that didn't fall off their bicycle was a communist.
And to remind all of us, we can't take anything for granted. Just think back before the ACA. A patient with a heart disease, diabetes, or a child with asthma couldn't get coverage. Why? Because the insurance company considered those a pre-existing condition that allowed them to deny coverage. Everybody deserves health care.
He's getting Jihad Joed. Oh, we got the jihadis in the audience, guys, and they want to yell at him. Now all the retarded, woke, liberal SEAL women will start clapping and saying 4 more years. That's how this goes. Let's go.
A patient with a heart disease, diabetes, or a child with asthma couldn't get coverage. Why? Because the insurance company considered those a pre-existing condition that allowed them to deny coverage.
They were what? They were what? Hold on, I missed that one.
A patient with a heart disease, diabetes, or a child with asthma couldn't get coverage. Why? Because the insurance company considered those a pre-existing condition that allowed them to deny coverage. Everybody deserves health care. Be patient with them.
This is why Arabs keep their women in those beekeepers.
They have a point. We need to get a lot more care into Gaza. But folks,
Genocide Joe.
Back to the subject at hand. Even pregnancy was considered a pre-existing condition. You all know that?
It was a pre-existing condition.
For all the young people out there, before ACA, you could kick off your parents' health care plans before you turn 26, just as you're heading out on your own. A lot has changed. For so many other people, they couldn't leave the dead-end job or start their own business because they couldn't risk losing the health care they had where they were. And imagine this, prior to the ACA, many insurance companies imposed lifetime caps on how much coverage your insurance policy would give you, lifetime caps. That meant a cancer patient could be halfway through chemo and they reached the cap and their insurance cut out. No, I'm serious. I know it sounds hard to believe. None of you pray God you hadn't had to go through that. But companies would stop covering and that life was put in danger. They just cut off the insurance. Think about that. At the most vulnerable point in your life, so many Americans heard these words, sorry, you're on your own. Look, for God's sake, this is the United States of America. We're so much better than that.
We're
that's
better
why the
than
Affordable
that.
Care.
Yeah, we're better than that. We're the kind of people that send jihadis in to terror bomb our enemies.
Act is so important and why Kamala and I are making it stronger than ever before. Folks,
we will bomb Iraq.
Through laws I wrote and signed, the American Rescue Plan, Inflation Reduction Act, both of which not a single solitary Republican in the Congress voted for.
And both of which do not do the things that they are aimed. Yeah, the fucking Inflation Reduction Act. Wow. Guys, that sure worked. We're only growing at 4% now instead of fucking 9%. Right? God, we did it. We did it. Let's fucking start lowering in those interest rates. All right.
I enacted tax credits to save an average of $800 per person per year, reducing health care premiums for millions of working families under the Affordable Care Act. Those tax credits expire next year. I'm calling on Congress to make that $800 expanded affordable health care tax credit permanent. Otherwise, millions of Americans with that coverage could lose their coverage. Folks, it's because we're making the ACA stronger, more affordable. ACA enrollment is breaking records. Today,
it's hard to follow
everyone
him.
can get
Like,
affordable
what are you
coverage
actually
through the
talking
ACA.
about?
And 80% of the folks on the ACA plan can get a plan for $10 a month. $10 a month. 21 million people covered under ACA, a 75% increase just since Kamala and I came to office. And that includes over 1 million folks right here in North Carolina.
Yeah, 1 million illegal aliens.
And on top of that, more Americans have health care today than under any other president. And it's saving American taxpayers money.
Yeah, because we give it to all the
money.
illegals as they come
talk
in.
about what we're spending. It saves the taxpayers money. It's cheaper to pay for preventative mammogram than it is to treat a cancer. And today, 100 million Americans can no longer be denied health insurance because of pre-existing conditions, whether you get your insurance through ACA
or what country you are supposed to be in.
or not. Nearly 25 million low-income adults have gained Medicaid coverage because of ACA, including, as I said, 400,000 right here in North Carolina because of Roy Cooper. And Kamala and I are making health care more affordable and accessible in other ways as well. Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere else in the world. I could get you on Air Force One and you tell me if you have a prescription to fill out here in North Carolina. I can fly you to Toronto, to Berlin, to London, to Rome, and I can get you that same prescription from that same company somewhere between 40 and 60% less than you pay for it here. But through the Inflation Reduction Act, again, not a single Republican voted for it.
Yeah, because it didn't reduce inflation and it furthered your green climate agenda.
Finally beat Big Pharma. Finally.
Guys, we beat Big Pharma by forcing Americans to take vaccines that didn't work. We beat them!
For example, instead of seniors with diabetes paying as much as $400 a month for their insulin they so badly need, they now only have to pay $35 a month, period. And by the way, you know how much it costs to make that insulin? $10 dollars. Package it, everything.
At least you spelled it right, guys.
Folks, I want to extend those savings to everyone who needs life-saving insulin, whether you're a senior or not. Everyone. Everyone. Folks. And it saves the American taxpayers money.
Saving
Guess
you
what that
money?
one little act did?
Why don't you like me?
When we passed it. It saves the American taxpayers $160 billion.
That's a made-up number, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Dollars.
Yeah, he saved you $160 billion by costing you $12,000 extra a year, guys. It was the only way he could do it. It was the only way.
$160 billion.
It was that's like 500. That's like $500 a person in the country, right? Let's just put it into perspective, okay? $500 per person, yet it costs you $12,000 a year in inflation. All right.
Pay $400. They pay $35, among other things. Folks, for people who have talked about giving Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices for prescription drugs than federal government pays.
I had to cost you $12,000, but I saved you $500, guys.
Since I and the
It
Congress.
was the only way. It was the only way to save that $500.
Almost kids in the Congress. Well, guess what? We finally got
What?
it done. Now, that's not just saving seniors money. As I said, it's saving taxpayers. And the federal deficit is down by.
Well, he's almost right. It's not just saving seniors money. It's not saving seniors money at all. Your policies are only costing people more money.
$160 million bucks for the next 10 years. Medicare no longer have to pay exorbitant big prices. Because of the law I signed, Medicare is
The only thing in front of me is cameras, says Joe Biden.
These drugs. For example,
There's no people there. There's
for
10
heart
people
disease,
here.
For arthritis. Now it's time to go further and give Medicare.
And yet somehow a protester still got in.
Over the next decade. This, along with other nations and other actions we've taken, but this first time for us, not only save lives, it's going to save the taxpayers an additional $200 billion on top of the 160. This saves money. Saves money.
It
saves money.
Guys, spending $7 trillion. I need another $5 trillion, guys, but it's going to save you $50, I swear. Give me the $5 trillion and I'll save you $50.
Starting next year, we've capped total prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at $2,000 a year, no matter what the total costs are. Even for expensive cancer drugs, it costs $10,000, $12,000, $14,000, $15,000 a year. It's going to be capped at $2,000 a year and save a hell of a lot more money as well. And folks...
Yeah, and how are we going to get the money to pay the other fucking, $13,000 that is missing in this equation? Well, we're just going to print it. What's the worst that could happen? It's not like inflation is real. Inflation is transitory, guys. Come on.
I want to make sure that's available for everyone. That's my objective in the second term.
Let us just print all this money. What's up, Freddie? What's up, buddy?
And by the way, the pharmaceutical company will still make billions of dollars. They're not going to.
Everybody will get rich. I'll save you fucking billions. I'll make them billions, and I'll spend trillions. Let's go.
Folks, here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
My predecessor.
If you don't give me what I want, I can't pay the Mexican government to stop sending fucking migrants here. Come on, man.
And MAGA Republican Congress have a different plan. Let's remember, 4 years ago this month, we saw how my predecessor didn't care much about science and reason. During the pandemic, that went on to claim 1 million American lives. And for every life claimed, it's estimated there's between 8 and 10 people left behind. Trump didn't level with the American people.
Do you know almost all those people died under Joe Biden? I'm just saying. Almost all those people died under Joe Biden. And here's the funny part. This is the funny part. You want to hear the funny part? It happened right after the vaccine came out. As soon as the vaccine came out, right, we were at a low when they started vaccinating people. And then a big giant spike of people died, like right as the vaccine came out. Isn't that weird?
He told Americans all they had to do was inject bleach in themselves. Remember that?
Don't inject bleach. Inject experimental RNA vaccines. That's what you should do.
Not a joke.
Yeah, it is a joke, actually. The president didn't tell people to inject bleach into their arms, okay? He asked about how to get, if there was a way to get a disinfectant inside the body, okay? He didn't tell people to inject bleach. He said that okay, so it's not a brilliant thing. It's not his best moment, but he was wondering, because the disinfectant works so well in killing the virus, right? Like on surfaces, he asked his doctors, if they're like live on TV, if there was a way to get the disinfectant inside the body. And they all told him no, basically. And in fact, the one lady with the scarf lady, she almost like had a heart attack. What are you guys saying? Farmers make billions? Well, if you add all the farmers up together, yeah, they make billions. Not a single farmers, just more the companies that buy all the food up and sell it for like 10 times more. Yeah, I know, Felix. I know. Yeah, but don't inject. One guy told you to inject bleach or whatever. And he didn't, but let's just say he did. The other guy told you to inject an experimental RNA vaccine. That doesn't work, by the way. Didn't work. Actually, more people died after the vax than died before it.
A real shot of UV light. Even before the pandemic, my Republican Congress were hell-bent on getting rid of the ACA. They came within one vote. But a close friend of mine, we used to argue like hell, but we spent a lot of time together over the years. But
yeah, if you look at 6 months before the vax and 6 months after, you'll see almost a mirror image. On the side before the vax, everything's going down. The side after the vax, it peaks again. Like way bigger than it ever peaked.
The ACA kicked millions of Americans off their health insurance.
Like way bigger. Like an order of magnitude bigger.
Now they want to, quote his word, terminate the ACA, as my predecessor says. If that ever happened, we'd also terminate a lot of lives as well. But we're not going to let that happen, are we? We're not going to let that happen. Here's what it would mean if they get rid of the ACA. Because of Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans in Congress, 45 million people nationwide would lose their health insurance, including 1.4 million right here in North Carolina. 100 million Americans with pre-existing conditions, from heart disease to asthma.
That's literally what he said.
Could lose their protection as well. And millions of young people, like a 20-year-old kid who just graduated from college, could get kicked off his parents' plan because they can't stay on until age 26 any longer. Trump and the MAGA Republican officials want to take us back where cancer patients were cut off from insurance halfway through the chemo because they reached what they call their limit.
None of this is, everything that he is saying is wrong. In fact, Donald Trump saved more lives by enacting Right to Try, where people suffering from terminal illnesses are allowed to participate and take experimental drugs, right? Because they have no other options, right? And that has actually saved lives. So whatever he's saying is a bunch of bullshit. Donald Trump saved lives with his legislation.
Limit and what they're willing to pay. The insurance.
If you were dying of cancer, wouldn't you want the right to be able to or not to be able to, whatever you decide, take these experimental treatments?
They want to take us back when women could be charged more for health care and preventive services like mammograms, and they'd no longer be free. And I'm serious. This is what, if you didn't know any better, you think I'm making this stuff up.
You are. You are making this stuff up. It's because you are.
Stop in there. MAGA Republicans in Congress just proposed a plan to get rid of the power of Medicare to negotiate lower prescription drugs, which could drive the cost of insulin back to $400 a month instead
What's
of
up, you heavy metal god?
And so much more.
Gorf, the god of fucking...
They plan to slash Medicaid.
Guttural throat singing.
They can close out 100 rural hospitals, hundreds of rural hospitals. You know how these rural hospitals make it? They make it because of the health care plans that are made available through the ACA. That's how they can afford to stay open. So many across the country, rural plants are closing because they couldn't keep it open. They couldn't afford to stay open. The Republican plan would deny millions of seniors with diabetes access to quality long-term care they get now under Medicaid. That includes 30 million children who now have access to Medicaid. They'd be at risk of losing that coverage as well. Trump also recently said about Social Security and Medicare. He said, quote, I'm quoting, there's a lot you can do in terms of cutting.
Yeah, there's administrators that you can cut out of the deal. Like, do you know how much money of the Social Security money is wasted on government bureaucrats and administrators? That's what Donald Trump was talking about.
Tremendous amount of things you can do if you cut. Right on cue, the same budget.
That's a good idea.
180 House Republicans
That's good management. That's how you make a business profitable.
It also raised Social Security retirement age and slash Medicare, giving billions of dollars.
Hey, take a drink every time he says MAGA. Well, I got my coffee right here.
$2 trillion tax cut. They raised the debt larger than anybody did in 4 years, and they're about to do it again if they win. I have a better idea.
What the fuck did this crazy fucking dementia patient just say?
$2 trillion tax cut. They raised the debt larger than anybody did in 4 years, and they're about to do it again.
No, I think that was Obama. Like, Obama spent a hell of a lot of money. I remember that. I don't know if it was his first term, but he spent, when Obama took over, America was $1 trillion in debt. When Obama left, we were like $20 trillion in debt. Okay?
If they win. I have a better idea.
When George Bush took over, George Bush Jr., America was $800 billion in debt. They used to worry about our deficit being billions, our debt being billions of dollars, right? That was our debt, was in billions.
I'll protect Social Security and Medicare. Instead of giving the very wealthy another $2 trillion tax cut, I'm going to
George Bush took us to $1 trillion, and
Obama
Obama took us from 1 to like 20 trillion.
Folks, my predecessor and MAGA officials are going after seniors and people with disabilities and children. As we all know, they're going after women as well. Trump proudly says, quote, after 50 years with no one coming close, I was able to kill Roe v. Wade. That's his statement. You've seen it on television.
Good. That's a good thing. It was unconstitutional. You people have things that you swear abortion is a constitutional right, and that free speech and the Second Amendment are not absolute, right?
Well, he's talking.
You talk about fundamental rights and then violate the Eighth Amendment on the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, and the future president of the United States, Donald Trump, right? Like, you guys break, like, everything you try to do gets fucking beaten down by the Supreme Court, right? And you're going to stand up here and lecture us on what should be legal, right? Obviously, you don't know.
About how Donald Trump killed Roe v. Wade. He says it has to be punishment for women exercising their reproductive freedom. Trump and MAGA Republicans are responsible for the chaos that followed, and they're now calling for a national ban on choice for every state, in every state, not just what is in law now. On top of that, just this morning, the Supreme Court heard a case to gut access to medication that was approved by the FDA 20 years ago to give women a choice. Folks, for America...
Yeah, well, lots of dumb shit comes up before the Supreme Court, right? Doesn't mean that just because the abortion pill came up before the Supreme Court doesn't mean it's going to be fucking beaten down, right? I think almost everyone is in favor of the abortion pill, like the morning after pill or whatever.
Sends me a Congress that are Democrats. I promise you, Tom and I will restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again. We will. Folks,
damn right, Ronnie never surrendered.
Look, let me close with this. History is made when you decide there's a greater risk in doing nothing rather than doing something. when it comes to the health and well-being of the nation. Through the leadership of President Obama, we made history in the Affordable Care Act. While there are those who want to take us back in time, all of us together are determined to move us forward. And here's the future I see.
Well, I think that if we can say, okay, no abortions past 3 weeks and we have to give all women the pill, I think that is a fair trade-off. I would make that trade. Something like that. Like a 3-week ban on abortion and free access to the pill, I think is I think that is a very plausible solution to the whole problem, actually.
I see a future where we defend democracy, not diminish democracy. I see a future where health care is a right and we restore the freedom to choose and protect the freedoms and not take it away. I see a future where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Folks, you notice the leading economists aren't making much fun of Bidenomics anymore. They're thinking maybe it works.
Oh, you're not with that? Hey, you have your right, brother. You don't have to. We don't have to agree on everything.
You know how many billionaires there are in America? There's now 1,000 billionaires. You know what their average tax they pay? Federal tax?
Yeah, it was a precedent. You're correct.
8.2%.
The Supreme Court can't write laws.
Tax rate?
The Supreme Court can't write laws. They can only.
They just played 25%.
Decide whether they're legal or
not. The highest bracket by a long.
Yeah, there is no federal law.
You know what that would do? That would raise $400 billion over the next 10 years. Imagine what we could do with that. We could fundamentally slash the federal deficit. We could make sure there's home care.
And it's unconstitutional. The federal government has no right over medicine, period. Dot.
Take care of Ukraine.
End of story.
Butcher Putin.
Has no right over what surgeries you're allowed to take, right?
I see a future where we save the planet.
The people that are in charge of that.
Gun violence. Above all, for all Americans. For a country of all Americans. And I'll always be president for all Americans.
Right.
I've never been more.
And Donald Trump was straight up, like I said, he gave people the right to try, right? And so if doctors think that you might be a candidate for some crazy fucking medical experiment they heard about, you have the right to try it.
Optimistic,
right?
About our future.
That's what government should be doing, right? Not the other thing, saying what people should and shouldn't be able to do, right? They should be making it easier for us to get access to medical technology. Yeah, that's what they should be doing.
Years old. Times 2 plus 1. Look, we just remember who in God's name we are, and I mean this sincerely.
Yeah, Joe Biden's an idiot. They keep saying it's a constitutional right too, Gorf, right? But they say that the Second Amendment and free speech are not absolute.
The United States.
When they are explicitly written as absolute, right? And shockingly, contrary to their belief system, right? Abortion doesn't appear anywhere in the fucking Declaration of Independence or Bill of Rights or Constitution or fucking the Articles of Confederacy, nothing.
States of America. No, I'm serious. We're the United States of America. We're the only country in the world that's come out of every crisis stronger than we went in. The only country in the world. There is nothing beyond our capacity.
Oh my God, the old man is yelling again.
Together. Not a single thing. This is the United States of America.
This is the United States of America, okay? The United States of America, right?
Together and
we're the United States of America.
Done. God bless you all.
Fuck you, you fucking decrepit old piece of shit.
Thank you.
Listen to this moron. Right? They have to rush people up now. All those people came out not to stand behind Joe Biden, but to help him get off stage so that he doesn't embarrass himself. They're his guides. They're his point men.
The best governors in America. All right. Oh, there you are. I'm wondering where you are. Thanks, everybody. Every time I'd walk out of my grandfather's house up in Scranton, he'd yell, "Joey, keep the faith." And my grandmother would, "No, Joey, spread it. Let's go spread the faith, guys." Thank you.
All right, well, that was the President of the United States or something, or whatever he calls himself. Yeah, that's the President. He's a piece of shit. He's a kid fucking little piece of shit, isn't he? Speaking of kid fucking pieces of shit, did you guys hear about Puff Daddy? They didn't show how many people were there? No, why would they do that? Trump rallies look like a goddamn football game, right? Like behind Trump, like at a Trump rally, there's and it's got to be partially staged, okay? At the Trump rallies, have you noticed that there are no ugly people that stand behind Donald Trump? It's all good-looking people, young, good-looking people now. It's good-looking women, like MILFs, and young, good-looking people all standing there behind Donald Trump now when he does his rallies, right? It's like all pretty people. P. Diddler. I know how long he was practicing this speech. All the time we haven't seen him. Gay Day. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all in here. It's all in here, guys. P. Diddy. He flees the country. He fled the country already. Apparently, that's allegedly he's a butt raper, okay? And he's a kitty trafficker. And wait, it gets better. It gets better, guys. Guys, they busted his mule with fucking suitcases full of cocaine and money. Oh, you didn't know that? You didn't know that they busted at the airport? They busted Diddy's fucking drug mule? Oh yeah, they busted Diddy's drug mule too. And he fled the country. And his kids, they locked up his kids. Let that sink in. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. That I don't know if this article is going to say all that, but this is what I've okay. Yeah. If you guys like gossip, okay, hold on. If you guys like gossip, I was saving this, but I don't know. Here is a channel to watch about this, okay? Especially if you like hot black girls. Oh my god. But, okay. It's called Tisa Tells, okay? This is where I get all my word on the street gossip. Bam. Where do you see her? Woo.
Hey, what's up, guys? Listen, new breaking information on what's going on with the Sean Diddy Combs case. Remember we said that in the Opa-locka airport in Miami last night, there were arrests and people were saying there was nobody arrested. Well, baby, now we have a name.
Yeah, it was his drug mule.
While the raids in California were happening, Brendan Paul, the man named in Little Rod's lawsuit against Diddy, was arrested on charges. He was arrested on charges, and baby, you know for a fact, that we got the results, baby. We got the booking number. It is case number. Well, it's on the screen. Hold on. 1 second, y'all.
This is I dropped the link to her
right?
channel. You guys should subscribe. She's got
Colombian dancing
whatever the
theft
fucking rumor is
possession.
on the internet. She gets down and talks about it.
$2,500. It was suspected.
She's
Colombian
not the
dancing
smartest
desk.
person.
He was the charge is
And
controlled
her information
substance
isn't
possession.
great. But if you just love hearing someone dish gossip, she's
laced
good.
candy. The charge has not been satisfied, but the bond has been submitted. I think it's important
Controlled
to note that in
substances,
Little Rod's
guys.
lawsuit,
Did you see that?
he said, I believe that KK,
Controlled
Karina
substances.
Corum, Diddy's assistant, and also Brendan were
It's his assistant and his drug mule got popped, right? Look. Here we go. Look. Controlled substance possession bond. $2,500 right here. Right? Possession of control. I heard it was bricks of cocaine, guys. I heard it was bricks of cocaine that he came in with. Is what I'm hearing, okay? Like bricks. All right,
and
tell us,
also
Tisa.
they had marijuana laced candy. The charge has not been satisfied, but the bond has been submitted. I think it's important to note that in Little Rod's lawsuit, he said, I believe that KK, Karina Corum, Diddy's assistant, and also Brendan were always keeping, handling, sprinkling, sharing gummies. There's a bunch of stuff that's in that lawsuit. Isn't it funny that he was arrested? Anyway, this actually happened during the day. There is even a mug shot of him. There was even a mug shot on him. Y'all, let's get into these reports because you can't make.
You gotta watch this channel. This is a great channel. Tisa Tells.
This is crazy. It's crazy that Diddy's whole empire is falling down. This is directly from the Rolling Stone. The Rolling Stone actually did say this is by, I believe, in Rolling Stone, Cheyenne Roundtree and Nancy Dillon. Sean Combs accused Mule, right? Let's also not forget Little Rod accused Brendan
Mule.
of being
That's what they're calling
Diddy's
it. Listen to what she
mule.
says.
Was arrested at the airport on Colombian dancing desks and marijuana charges. Baby,
Cocaine
Brendan Paul was
and
arrested
marijuana.
on Monday around the same time Homeland Security agents raided 2 of Diddy's properties. Again, for some reason, the Guardian saying that it was a New York property also, and we've even heard things on
$2,500
It's important to note
charge.
that Diddy only has.
I heard it was
rentals
bricks though
in Chicago and in New York City, so maybe that's why they're not including them. Again, Homeland Security is being very mum, but baby, they literally got their call of duty. All right, they said. Okay, let's get into this. They said Brendan Paul was taken into custody by Miami-Dade police on Monday afternoon at Opa-locka Airport around 4:30 p.m. You think that's why Diddy switched planes? Police were working alongside Homeland Security agents
Justin
when the
Bieber
arrest was made.
exposes Will Smith.
Around
Okay,
the same
cool. I'll
time,
check that out.
dozens of Homeland Security agents, they said there were about 30 cars that pulled up to Diddy's estate.
I've
and
heard
they
about
weren't
this
holding one
before.
agent.
I've heard all
Descended
these
upon
rumors
Diddy's
before,
residence
but I
in Miami and Los Angeles as part.
I didn't know it was true. I just thought it was. I mean, not that it was. I didn't know it was true, but I didn't know that it was that deep. Like I thought some of it was not true, right? I just thought, I didn't know it was all true. I thought some of it was just gossip, right? But no, apparently all of it's true now.
Part of a federal blank trafficking investigation led by Homeland Security. The coordinated raids were the first indication of a criminal investigation against Diddy after numerous civil lawsuits were filed against the Bad Boy Records executive. Now get this, they said it's not clear whether Homeland Security's search is related to any of the allegations raised in Little Rod's lawsuit. However, Little Rod did accuse him of all this, so. A family member of Paul's confirmed he was arrested.
So this guy
Diddy
apparently
did
is
not
a
immediately
snitch.
Reply a request for comment. It's
Little
unclear
Rob or
if
whatever.
Paul's arrest is connected to the wider
Whatever she
investigation
said.
into Diddy or where he was headed at the airport. Diddy was confirmed to be in Florida at the time of the raid, according to NBC News. The officials reportedly seized his phones before he was scheduled to leave for a trip to the Caribbean.
I don't know. He raped boys, too.
He was seen
Boys,
pacing around the
too.
airport. It looked like he was crying to me. Brendan Paul was recently named in a lawsuit filed by music producer Rodney Little Rod Jones against Diddy, in which Rodney Jones accused Paul of being Diddy's mule, allegedly acquiring and distributing Diddy's I can't even say it, rugs and pals, right? A person close to the situation confirmed to Rolling Stone that
She's
Paul's
talking about
mugshot
drugs
was the
and
same
guns.
man
He
in
distributed
Jones'
drugs
complaint.
and guns for Diddy.
Arresting officers claim Paul,
So this was
Brendan
his
Paul,
bag man, basically.
had contraband inside his personal travel bags, and the suspect's Colombian dancing desk was located and tested. Brendan Paul was taken to Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center in Miami. He is currently being held on two $2,500 bonds for two charges: Colombian dancing desk possession and possession of a controlled substance. Now listen, this doesn't make Little Rod true. What he says 100% true. But I will say, it looks like this case has some legs to it. It's funny
she's so cute.
that
Isn't she
everything
cute?
Little Rod
Give it up
has
for
said.
Tisa, everyone. Give it up for Tisa. Go subscribe to Tisa. She's just a joy. She draws you in on this bullshit, right? Like, you should have seen how she was one of the, when I was like, some people on the internet are being crazy about the Where's Kate Middleton shit. I was talking about this bitch, right? No. They probably forced them to eat his Diddy hole, and he freaked out and told on him. Yes, the white dude in the picture is the mule. Yes. Yes, it's the white guy. Guys, don't you know by now it's always the white man? What's his name? He's probably Jewish too, just to make it like all worse for everyone. Okay, now, MAGA Diddy hole. Now, yeah. Here, I'm going to drop her link again if you guys want to subscribe to her. You'll be doing if you're into this kind of stuff, you will enjoy it. She goes down, like, whenever there's something, she's always got the crazy conspiracy theory on it. But this is all true. And here's the funny thing. The funny thing is, guys, that she was talking about this days before it started happening. Like that people are starting to unfriend Diddy online and things like that. So like everybody kind of knew that this was going to go down, right? And so if you watch her, you're going to be like days ahead of the story too, right? Cuz she's good at digging. Like she has a good eye about what's about to be popular. So if you snitch on people about victimless crimes, then that's just fascism and socialism. Yes. But snitching on giant crime organizations where people are being raped and stuff is not really snitching. I get you, but if you're in on the crime, it is, right? Like if you were doing crimes too and you tell on all the other people that you're doing crimes with, you're a snitch, right? There's honor among thieves as well, right? We gotta hold you by your own standards. You're a snitch, right? That's what I mean by snitch. Like the guy was in on it for a while, and now he's, I guess, quite literally butthurt about it, right? And then he snitched, right? But he was in on it before, so that makes him a snitch, right? So, yeah. Yes, being a bitch rat. Exactly. That's what we mean by snitch. Yes. Yes. You guys want to hear? Okay, all right, Justin Bieber. We'll watch a little bit of it. We don't want to go into it. Oh, but we'll watch a little bit of it.
Sipping lean, I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, shrooms, everything.
Oh, that sounds like a fun weekend.
And it was just an escape for me. You have all these people around me just kind of hanging on, wanting stuff from me.
I know all about that.
Knowing that, I was living this lifestyle that they also wanted to live, drinking, smoking.
Justin Bieber is making a comeback, and honestly, it is quite the remission.
I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So,
Did he?
Yeah. We gonna go.
And he's gonna be all up in that booty hole. Poor Justin Bieber. I actually like that song. Baby, 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 oh. It's actually a pretty good song.
Full, crazy.
It's okay.
Yeah, so
it's not worth all the hate it gets, I'll tell you that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you it's gonna be yours. So,
I'm gonna take you driving this Porsche, and we're gonna go way out into the desert where there's no one around. And I'm gonna show you how to become a star.
Dusty, put the front shot in.
Man.
Gorf, I have a wide musical palette, right? And anything that sounds good gets in. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to be driving this next year.
Hollywood.
Do you know what I listen to when I drive, Gorf? Classical Russian music.
And its elites are known for funding shady activities.
When I say classical, I mean the late romantic and into the modern period.
And doing things that they shouldn't. Mostly Diddy lending a hand
like
to green young artists.
Like
However,
Tchaikovsky.
That hasn't stopped these powerful individuals from doing what they enjoy doing the most. And that is exploiting others for their own messed up gain.
I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person
this is too long.
Name I want.
They were in the way the world works.
Here's everything you need to know.
Nobody ever tells you that, when you get to the top, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's just more of that. If you want it, I had ground and scraped and fought to make.
Boring.
Weren't happy.
Okay,
The
routinely
alleged
grooming. There we go.
Has been brought to people in Hollywood who routinely groom young musicians under the idea of mentorship.
There we
has
go.
been brought to light as a result of actors finally taking a stand against the alleged system.
Everything you wanted to do, you
Yes.
were doing, but you still weren't happy.
But I was, but I'm a victim. I'm a product, I should say, of these systems that we all.
I'm a victim with my millions of dollars and gay rape.
Survive in, which is, this sort of capitalist-driven corporatocracy.
Yeah, and you literally sold your booty hole to be famous.
Way of,
right?
Of
you knew what you were doing at the time. I'm just saying, there's something about personal responsibility here too that nobody's talking about.
Merchandising and commercializing every.
Yes, these people are bad. Yes, this is wrong, but these people aren't unwilling fucking participants either, right? At the time, they're willing to do it to get what they want, or what they think they want anyway, right? Let's not beat around the bush. I mean, if we're gonna talk about this, I'm not trying to victim shame actual victims of fucking incest and pedophilia and shit, but I am trying to say that this is a different thing. This is like prostitution. These people are selling themselves for that. They know it, right? When they're doing it, what they're doing, and the choice that they're making, okay? So, I'm not trying to stick up for the bad guys. Fuck the bad guys. I hope they all burn in fucking hell or fucking get raped in prison for the rest of their life too, right? But at the same time, these people aren't innocent victims either.
Thought and fear and moment that we have in our lives, and never giving us a chance to slow down. And when I was able to, I was on my way out, and I saw my kids, and I saw them grown up.
We all know that this is kind of true, right? We know for sure that all these things happen, right? Well, all these things do happen in Hollywood, right? So it's not shocking to find out that Justin Bieber got raped or whatever, right? People want to be a homo because it's easier than dealing with women. Oh, that's almost true. That's almost true. Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious. Oh my. Holy harlot, you win. That's the best joke of the day. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, it's like almost true, right? It's almost worth a dick in the ass to not have to believe to fucking deal with women. That's almost true. It's so close to being true. It's like, what? Which one's worse? I tell you what, I'd take a dick in the ass if it would make a bitch act right. If that's all I had to do, I would do that. No. Oh. Oh my God. Oh. Oh my God. Yemen's Houthis attacked a Chinese oil tanker with multiple ballistic missiles on Sunday. Oh, looks like that alliance isn't holding up so well. And despite an agreement with China, they even brought it up, and Russia to allow their vessels safe passage through the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. The U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, said on social media platform X that the Houthis launched 4 anti-ship ballistic missiles into the Red Sea, minimally damaging a Chinese-owned and operated Panamanian-flagged oil tanker, MV Huang Pu. The ship issued a distress call but did not request assistance. The Pooh suffered minimal damage, and the fire on board was extinguished within 30 minutes. The Pooh. Remember the Pooh. Sources familiar with the matter said China and Russia reached an understanding with the group following talks between their diplomats in Oman and Mohammed Abdel Salam, one of the Houthis' top political figures, as reported by several media outlets on the 21st of March. According to sources, the two countries might offer political backing to the Houthis. Yeah, well, I guess that's off the table now. Huh. No shit, Gorf. Yeah, but after that, she's got to be like, it's not, no. See, after you take the dick up the ass, she acts like the woman that you always thought she was. How about that? Oh, yeah, now it's totally worth it, isn't it? To actually have the woman that you were promised by her. All right, now, we've got more stories. Hold on. I have more stories, guys. Lots of things happen. True Social stock price surges on first day of trading, increasing Donald Trump's fortune. Shares of Donald Trump's social media company surged about 30% on their first day of trading, boosting the presidential candidate's fortune. The question is, how soon can he tap his roughly $5 billion stake in Truth Social? That is up to the board of Truth Social's parent company. The group includes his son, three former members of his administration, and the former congressman who took a leading role in defending the former president in his first impeachment trial. What was that guy's name? Trading was so intense that NASDAQ temporarily halted trading following the opening bell. Yeah, so Trump's stock went up so fast that it triggered a stop, a freeze. We were just talking about those freezes yesterday, weren't we? Wow, everything always kind of comes together. Yes, so they instituted a freeze on it because it went up so damn fast. That's cool. Good for him. With its valuation, Truth Social is about the same size as established companies such as U.S. Steel, shoe company Skechers, and the investment bank Jefferies. I don't know if it's worth that much. Yeah, Don't buy now. Buy in 6 months. That's my advice. All right. If you want to buy it, my advice is don't buy it at all. But I don't see it ever being worth more than it is now. Hey, what's up, hillbilly? I'm just saying right now that doesn't sound right. Yeah, well, I guess that's all we have. We can watch more of bridge collapse. Look at that. There's people on there. That's scary. That's sad. Let's watch it again. So there's the boat, right? Look, there's... is that black smoke coming out of the boat? I heard there was black smoke. I see lots of black smoke now. I heard there was black smoke coming out of the boat when it hit the thing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Buy Rumble. Indeed, Holy. Indeed, Holy. Yes, it stopped working. That's their story right now, yeah. It's not like too far-fetched, right? I mean, these boats are complex systems, so lots of things can fail. I mean, they're just giant machines. It's weird. Definitely weird. Yeah, it's weird, guys. I don't know what's going on with this boat thing, but some people are saying it's a sabotage. Some people are saying we don't know what it is, but we know it's definitely not a sabotage. So, and it's a racist conspiracy theory to think that it was anything else besides we don't know. Okay? So, we know that. Because if you look up, like if you Google Baltimore Bridge cyber attack, the first thing that comes up calls you a racist for thinking that. So, that's definitely what it's not, okay? That's all I know. because I'm not a racist. So, so I know then that. So by me knowing that I'm not a racist, I know that it wasn't a cyber attack. Okay, and don't take my word on that, right? So. Cyber attack. Okay, now, I'm not making this up, okay? Here we go. So, I Google Baltimore Bridge cyber attack, right? Right? That's what I Googled. Let's go ahead and put it on full screen. Right? Okay, so this is how this works, okay? Top stories, those are just top stories, okay? These are like answers to your questions, like quick answers to your questions. And then the first return says, the insanely racist conspiracy theory on Baltimore Bridge, right? Insanely racist conspiracy theory. So, guys, all I know is that if you think anything other than the official story, which, as we all know, is we don't know what happened, right? They don't know what happened, but they definitely know that calling it a cyber attack is a racist conspiracy theory. Okay? Oh yeah, there's lots of factors. Anything could be a factor, brother. That's what makes this so fun, right? I wonder what Tisa Says has to say about it, or Tisa Tells has to say about it. Okay, yeah. So, but the only thing that we do know for sure is that if you think that it was, a terrorist attack, you're a racist. Okay. That's the only thing that we do know, okay? Now, nothing to see here. Move along. What do we got here? Let's see. Oh, this is your music? This is ghost music. Fuck yeah! Yeah! This is Gorf! Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah, dude! That's fucking awesome! Oh, it plays my song next. Aw. That was fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, that was fucking awesome, bro. A bit satanic. Yeah, a bit satanic. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't. Yeah, but it was good. It was good. All right, guys. Well, shit. Wow. That's been a long show. It was a very long show. You guys should all subscribe to Gorf so that he can scream at you. I would rather have Gorf screaming at me than some woke liberal retard. I'll tell you that. That shit was awesome. It's like Cannibal Corpse and shit. Yeah, I bet you got some great heavy metal in Finland, Usi. It's about a kid I know who bit his tongue off at a mosh pit. Well, that's an awesome song. Well, that's the best subject for a song like that, I think. It's definitely the best material to work with when you're talking about a song like that. You know what I mean? But I thought Finland was the happiest country on the world. I thought you guys were just so happy over there. I don't even have any idea like how to make fun of Finland. I don't even know. I'm gonna find out what you guys export just so I can say that that's what you eat. So I can be racist against Finns. I'm just gonna find out about your culture so I can make a stereotype about you. That'll be hilarious. That's the funniest shit. He knows how to fish. Yeah, you goddamn herring eating. Oh yeah. Goddamn herring eating, ice climbing Finns. Hey, you guys, you can't win until you cross the finish line. Huh? Right? Santa Clauses. You can't win if you can't cross the finish line. Don't forget that. Yeah, okay, guys. Well, yeah. Yeah, don't forget YouTube hates my channel, so if you guys want to support it, this is how you do that. Like this. You do Venmos to this guy or whatever. There, that's how you do that. Sona. No, the Finns are badass. The Finns fought the Nazis and the Russians. They beat them both. Finns are badass. I have mad respect for Finland. They're feisty little fuckers. All right, guys, that's going to be it. Remember, we go live with all kinds of content, whatever the hell I want. So you never can do nothing about it unless you're not subscribed. So make sure you're still subscribed. You got to make sure, because they'll unsubscribe you. And, yeah, I'll check you guys out next time. Peace. Bye.